Hello everyone, Wiisonic the Jug Gamer here, back with...
Hello, Strawb is here again.
Hopefully things are sounding a bit better on well, with me specifically this time around. I don't know why I'm always soft in my, audio.
I wouldn't know, I'm just on VC.
Ugh. Uh, yeah. Anyways, enough about my situation. We're back with more of the Pokemon Retrospective. Well, here we have Gen 3 Hoenn. You ready to begin?
Yeah, and I'm looking at that Gardevoir, and I am not excited. I mean, I am
Get used to
excited,
seeing
but
off.
only to see how bad it's gonna be.
Before we begin, we should probably mention what our experience with Gen 3. I have played
Oh, yes,
Emerald
yes.
long ago. It's been a while. My most recent playthrough has been Omega Ruby, which, my god, I'm gonna be honest, I miss the 3DS games.
Yeah, I touched, I think, Emerald, maybe a bit of Ruby and Sapphire, on my 3DS, and I was getting decently far in a Nuzlocke. Then I had my friend help update the thing that was totally legitimate and legal, and he accidentally deleted Emerald in particular, losing my Sableye, which I was really liking. I haven't gotten back to the original since, but I have played through Omega Ruby Alpha Sapphire, which personally I consider way better anyways. I do hold 3 in high regard, but not quite the one that is like the top for me. It's definitely where things started getting good.
I can definitely agree with that statement. I especially like that we didn't have the physical special split yet, because I could just add, like, interesting, like, coverage on Pokemon like Alakazam. But that's not what we're here to talk about. Let's begin. Hoenn.
I'm a kid of the 90s, so I grew up with the very first Pokemon games, but Generation 3 and Hoenn remains to this day my all-time favorite gen. It introduced many of my favorite characters, it has the best written story, it has some of the most beautiful locales of any region, especially as this was before the DS brought in the washed-out pastels and jaggy 3D models of Gen 4 and 5. And it
Okay, I'm going to stop you a bit
Uh,
early there. I'll be honest, I love Hoenn, but the DS titles hit different, man, when it comes to the sprite work. I still say, I love the GBA for all of the sprite work it has on that one. Look at Mega Man Zero and shit. But the DS, like, the Pokemon on the DS was like the perfect level of sprites for it. Not to mention with how much depth they
yeah,
actually managed to get in it.
like I do agree that Generation 3 looks beautiful. Honestly, it shows the most in Omega Ruby Alpha Sapphire. Those games, oh my goodness, the vibe is immaculate. But dissing on Gen 4 and 5's art style because it's supposedly drained out, no, I don't quite have a solid defense, but all the same, I really don't agree. I think part of it is you pulled up the footage of, oh, I don't know, the rock type area, which is a mining town, which is next to a mine. And sometimes on the Gen 5 games, they have a render distance, so things can look a little cloudy because it's not like a PS4 that can render 5 miles away.
Yeah, no, you're right, that is a rock town.
Yeah,
Cause like,
I
why
mean,
did you show like the fucking forest area or the hell? One of the most beautiful things, even in Brilliant Diamond Shining Pearl, was the windmill.
ooh.
Like the
I'm
wind.
also, yeah,
Sorry, go
if
ahead.
I may. As you said, Eterna Forest, which looks even better in Platinum because they added the cool shading effect. What else? I'm trying to think what else looks pretty because what I did think was another place that looks pretty drab is Mount Coronet. Uh, Diamond Pearl Platinum has a few drab locations because they're just rock, but it's not because of the art style. It's just because they're drab locations like caves, mountains, mining town.
Marshes.
Uh, I wouldn't say the Great Marsh looks bad, actually. The
No,
marsh areas are.
but
Oh, go
it's
ahead.
still like grimy, muddy, that type of thing.
Yeah, but at least it's a more vivid color palette.
That's true. That's true.
Which is, again, what she's complaining about. She's like, oh, it's not vivid and all eye-catchy enough. Where?
Yeah. No, I can't disagree. I can't disagree with Lily. It's like, no, honestly, say what you want about the DS games. The sprite walk to me, I still prefer the sprite walk of the DS games over any of the 3D shit we have now. That's how
I
much
love that
I
it's
think they
2.5D.
perfected it.
Yeah, I
For the
love how
DS
it's 2.5D.
Yeah.
brought in the washed out pastels and jaggy 3D models of Gen 4 and 5, and it introduced many Pokemon that remain among my favorites to this very day. Generation 3 is something of a controversial gen. Some people adore it, some people hate it, and others correctly identify it as the starting point for many things about Pokemon that have annoyed people in later years. But let's dive in, shall we? This
What?
one opens with a more
Whoa.
elongated...
Hold on.
I was like, annoyed people in later years. Like, what? I thought you were about to say it's about where things started getting good. Like, what the fuck? You can't even go 5 minutes.
Hold on. I just didn't replay that real quick. Hold on.
One that remain among my favorites to this very day. Generation 3 is something of a controversial gen. Some people adore it, some people hate it, and others correctly identify it as the starting point for many things about Pokemon that have annoyed people in later years. But let's dive in, shall we? This one opens with a more elongated opening sequence.
Okay. This is going to be fun already.
Nah, it just makes me play mad.
Where you get out of the truck, fix your clock, and talk to the misogynistic neighbor boy before being able to choose your Pokemon. This shit's getting longer every game, I fucking swear. And this little bitch is really condescending. I'm actually surprised by just how casually sexist he is. What, are you streaming a debate over there, Brendan? Wait, his name is Brendan? Finally, I get to compete against my wife's boyfriend. Man, he'll be...
Okay.
Ew. Whoa. Okay, sorry. It's just less, I guess now less important because of that comment. I mean, this was a game from like some point in the early 2000s where casual sexism was definitely at its prime.
Also, not to mention he's also still a kid, and people just assume, oh hey, new kid coming in town, hope they're the same gender as me, because they don't really.
True.
I'm sorry. Typically, when you just hear something about someone, as a kid, you just kind of get like a certain mindset, not a certain mindset, but like you get an idea in your head just because you don't have much to actually relate to, you don't have much experience to like compare to. And not to mention, this is one of the few kids that Brandon actually probably saw, like actually seen.
Yeah, more in my mind is there's definitely reasons to be upset when modern things do terrible stuff like this, but it really is a product of the times, and you have to forgive it because how would they know better? They only just started knowing how to be better, and nobody really cared enough to try.
Yep, and honestly, to be fair, the thing I also want to say is that I don't remember if May would say something similar to it, considering a lot of dialogue between both the male and female rival are the same. Not every single one, but a lot of them are. So I wonder if May even says something similar. In that case, is she being misandrist?
Maybe so.
I don't know, and I frankly don't care. Because it's not that big of a deal. If it's a problem, we can work on it when he is learning what's right and wrong.
I want to joke that none of us will ever know what May NPC is going to say because no one will ever play as the guy.
Yeah. I can't even say anything.
Be pissed to find out they let Christy Golden write his dialogue. Oh wait, that's what he was doing, his Sylvanas live stream! I'll be honest, I actually like Brendan more than Silver. I think Brendan is one of my favorite rivals, because while he is casually sexist, he's not trying super hard to be your friend or trying super hard to slag you off. Sure, his sexism does irritate me, but in a good way, where it's all the more fun to beat his Pokemon into the dirt, and he gets salty when he loses later on, which is just great! And it's probably Birch's fault he's like this anyway. I eventually found...
Okay,
Birch is a bad person? What do you...
Oh, so I just want to go point out, like, the thing I'm pretty sure this was here, added more so for the beat him into the ground thing, but it's like, that is not sexist. It's literally saying, I have more experience in this field than you. Why am I losing?
Yeah. That's not, oh my goodness, I'm more of a guy than you. That's, oh my goodness, I'm like a year older than you. What the fuck?
I've been doing this since I was 5! Like, if you're trying to pull on the whole fucking misogynist bullshit, choose your things better, because no. This is not it, bro.
Anyways, before we continue, I wonder if she's going to touch upon how this guy becomes a roadblock at times, because while he's definitely less edgy than Silver and Gary, he is definitely still the rival, the a rival? Oh my goodness. The rival who likes to get in your way and force you to battle something, which is not always super easy to beat, but needs to be beaten in order to continue.
Yeah, to be fair, yeah.
Fun to beat his Pokemon into the dirt, and he gets salty when he loses later on, which is just great. And it's probably Birch's fault he's like this anyway. I eventually found Professor Birch being savaged by a raccoon, and understandable, those things have rabies, you need to kill them on sight. So to do that, I chose Trico.
Fuck you! Don't you diss my Zigzagoon!
Wait, I missed what the comment even was. My bad.
And he loses later on, which is just great. And it's probably Birch's fault he's like this anyway. I eventually found Professor Birch being savaged by a raccoon, and understandable, those things have rabies, you need to kill them on sight. So to do that, I chose Trico.
No,
Don't diss
Grr, I love raccoons.
Don't diss my Zigzagoon.
Yeah, Zigzagoon is so baby.
I'll be honest, in Omega Ruby, I caught like 5 of a female ones trying to go for a specific joke, and I keep getting the one with gluttony. I just gave up. According to Bulbapedia, they can't learn pickup. I'm trying to get pickup because pickup is such a good ability.
I know, I get it. But they're like, no, we're in on your joke. We're not letting you have that.
Yeah.
Because it's correct. And then Birch says that I pulled it off with aplomb. Aplomb? Well, that's just charming dialogue. Anyway, he tells me I should go meet my Metamor, and I already have. He's a much nicer guy than Nintendo seems to think he is. Seriously, Poet, you don't deserve this shit you're getting from me. So he challenges me to a fight, and it's no contest because I went and bought 5 potions before the fight because honor means nothing to a corpse. And so Birch gave me a Pokedex and tells me to go fill it, and so far so stand. Come on, Trico, we're going on an adventure. As soon as I catch myself a baby, if you thought I wasn't going to, you don't know me very well. I named her G. Okay, so one problem with the Gen 3 games is...
I did not like that. I did not like that. I did not like that.
Okay. Sorry, for context to anybody who is just getting a
I would prefer
idea...
we don't have the context for this one. I just prefer we just move on. If you know who Lily is, you understand why. And that's all you need to know. We are not here to subjugate them to the horrors of Lily. We're here to subjugate them to the horrors of Lily's Pokemon Retrospective.
Fair enough. All I'm going to say is if you know Lily Orchard, adding the fact that she is catching a baby makes it all the worse.
Yeah. We're just going to leave it at that. If you know, you know.
That the routes are either really, really long or really, really short. The next town is always either 5 steps over or way off in Russia. The older games had...
Hold on, that one has a midway point, though. Like, that's the weather institution right there.
And, I mean, I wasn't entirely bothered by how short the first route of the game was. I mean, I'm not usually bothered by the length of routes in general. I just play the game.
It's also the first route where you're just... Even though... Actually, no, this is not cut off. But no, like, this is the first route with there's not... Well, technically second route. Third if you want to include the one you have to go to fight your rival in. But still, though, it's like, this is really the first route to the start of your adventure. Where the next gym is right over. And then you can't fight that gym because of plot, but still.
Mm-hmm.
It's like, it's meant to be short and sweet.
Really, really short. The next town is always either 5 steps over or way off in Russia. The older games had this problem too, but it's a while until you reach the properly long routes. 3 badges in, actually. The other games had Mount Moon, Union Cave, Viridian, and Ilex Forest all before your 3rd badge. The most Gen 3 has is a bridge. It's a nice bridge, I'll give you that. Anyway, I get to Petalburg and talk to my dad. Hey, Dad, been a while. As you can see, I changed my entire gender. He gives me this small, sickly boy named Wally and asks me to teach him how to catch Pokemon. I think this might be the most elegant implementation of the catching tutorial. Now you're the more experienced trainer helping the kid. That's very wholesome. I love Wally. Also, he catches a Ralts. The boy has good taste. That is the friend Pokemon. So I took G out for some training, and some world-class intellect decided that Ralts doesn't learn Confusion until level 6, so I have to switch train the way there. It's alright, I have a Gecko. Also, those rich kids can fuck off. It's here we meet our first Team Aqua Grunt, who's trying to mug a businessman. And let me tell you, I was conflicted here.
Oh, wait, your first encounter was with Team Aqua? But I thought it was Team Magma for some reason.
Oh, this Emerald?
Yeah, this is Emerald.
Yeah, I forget the rules of how Emerald works and balances the 2 team encounters, honestly.
He's a capitalist. I have to let him suffer. But I can't progress until I help him. I see what you're about, Nintendo. So the first thing...
We're here to help a guy!
And they are trying to steal scientific documents, not business documents.
Like, you say... Like, yeah, it's fucking documents for a fucking corporation, but it's a corporation of science. It's some Devonports built that was meant to actually come back, if I recall. I don't remember when, but they're important.
Yeah. They're not trying to steal money stuff from businessmen. They're trying to steal tech stuff so that they can make the tech capable of exploring either. Well, actually, no, they're both under the deep sea, I think. Either way.
An emerald that got changed where to encounter Groudon, you go back to the mountain. It makes more sense that way, in my opinion.
Well, that's a good fix.
Yeah, no. So if you want to play any of the older games, always go for the third version. The third version will always harmonize both of the different versions in a usually more satisfactory way. I kind of am upset that they stopped that in Black and White, although I kind of forgive that one since it gave us the sequel games, but I've never forgiven them ever since X and Y.
Yep. We could have had Pokemon Z, man.
We could have actually had Zygarde in its own thing, instead we had to wait several years for Legend ZA for Zygarde to be important again.
Anyways, sorry, as I was saying, they're stealing scientific parts so that they may explore either the deep sea or the volcano for the sake of getting Groudon and Kyogre. This isn't capitalism, this is just trying to get a powerful Pokemon god.
Yeah, but if there's no world, then there's no capitalism. Therefore, we should let them have it.
Tempting.
To do in Rustboro is actually run right past Rustboro to the Rusturf Tunnel, where another Aqua Grunt has mugged an old man and fled into an incomplete tunnel. That was a very bad mistake, and I'm about to carve the lesson into his flesh. Except I'm not, because I fucked up the sequence and he wasn't here. So I had to go back and do everything else first. Let's just cut this part out. So Roxanne is a Rock-type gym leader. Is there something about Rock?
What? Really?
Honestly, I didn't fully catch that. What? She said
she fucked up the sequence. And I'm like, that was a sequence?
Yeah, wait, what? You go to caves, you beat up guy,
about to carve the lesson into his flesh. Except I'm not, because I fucked up the sequence and he wasn't here. So I had to go back and do everything else first. Let's just cut this part out. So
yes,
Roxanne
right. You have to go to, I don't know if it's the different building. Basically, the business building that's part of science. He's over... No, wait, huh. No, I thought it was that actually the scientist guy encounters you as you try to leave for the route, and then you get. Well, then again, I'm also working on Omega Ruby Alpha Sapphire knowledge, so it could be different than Emerald.
That is Omega Ruby Alpha Sapphire, because I remember that playing out. But that's also why I'm like, wait, that's different. I should play Emerald again. I should play yeah. When I get to Emerald, I'm going to try this out.
Yep, I'll probably have to do the same at some point.
Type gym leader. Is there something about Rock that makes it an ideal first gym? Fucking 3 games use it. Anyway, the thing is that Rock is weak to grass, so...
Fun fact with Strawb.
Yeah, it actually is a great starting gym, because what do you know it? 2 of the 3 types you get, the starter types I mean, are strong against Rock types. So sure, it punishes 1, but the other 2 are greatly rewarded. And it's one of the few times we have this interaction.
And also, don't forget, you could also easily get a grass type before... Well, there are also a lot of games that you could get either like a grass type or a water type before you encounter the rock gym anyway. So even if you choose like the fire type, you're not completely screwed. Yeah. Not to mention, this is also part of the reason why a lot of fire types get fighting.
Yeah, pretty much. Oh, actually, technically, this is where it starts.
Yeah, this is where it starts.
I'm surprised she did not comment on that, because there are many salty fans who are very upset that they kept doing the same type. They have no chill about it. Sorry.
It probably will be brought up later.
Yay.
We'll find out. If Lily proves us wrong, she proves us wrong. Until then... Oh. Yeah, that sounds about right.
Oh, fuck, I just remembered. Roxanne's a school teacher. This joke was in terrible taste.
Hey, Lance, it's off. Throw this phone away, Lois.
So anyway, that guy...
Oh my god.
Sorry for pausing there. I just need a minute.
Yeah, whoa.
Wow!
Whoa.
Wow!
from earlier got robbed again and wants me to get his stuff back. You want another bailout? What am I, the federal government? Anyway, I find Mr. Briny there, who also lost his Wingull. Finally, a cause I can get behind. So I crush the awkward grunt and move on. I take a visit to Devon Corp and he gives me a free smartphone, but as soon as I leave, a scientist stops me and insists on installing the phone feature because he didn't before. How the fuck do you still have a job? And forces me to call the Devon Corp president. You don't need to do this, Game Freak. I'm glad you've got it. Stop forcing it on me. Actually, this time around, the phone is awful. Before, you could just refuse everyone's number and not be pestered by their inane calls. This time around, everyone is forcibly added to match call, and they bother you all the fucking time. Oh, this is fucking cancerous. Why would you do this? Game Freak can never have a normal, good idea. They have to pile it under layers of bullshit. So the president of
Okay, no, I am defending this.
Really? I'm kind of in agreement. This is a poor implementation.
It makes the world feel a bit more alive, and also, you can just not deal with them, and they'll never recall you. Well, at least
really?
for battling. As long as you don't battle them, they will not ever call you, really.
What about the just classic, oh my goodness, my Rattata is the top percent of Rattata type call?
Those ones are funny! Maybe it's just me.
Oh, it's funny, but it's also really in the way because it stops anything you're doing to answer a phone call you've probably heard at least 3 times by now.
I'm gonna be honest, I am trying to remember my Emerald playthrough, and I don't remember that really being an issue. But that was also years ago, so...
Strangely enough, me neither, because again, I played at least most of the game. I definitely got far enough to get to the desert and the cool fossil thing. But,
about halfway.
yeah, I don't remember this feature at all.
Yeah, like, that's what I mean. It's like, okay, I don't have a problem with it, but that's also because I don't remember it. Because, like, when I played, it was never really that invasive, and even then, it's like, you could say, like, yeah, it gets in the way, but I would argue, like, yeah, but it's also, you know, someone you know calling you. You know, it'll be like me just like, hey, Shaw, what you doing? Like,
Not much. What about you?
It's trying to add some realism to the game, and I do appreciate that. It makes people not feel like just NPCs that you fight once and then fuck off with.
Yeah, I get that. But the fact that it's not optional anymore is still slightly an issue.
Yeah, but I also say Youngster Joey would not be a legend if it wasn't for a feature like this.
Youngster Joey is Generation 2,
I know.
where you could in fact deny his calls and never see that feature whatsoever.
Devon Corp has decided that deputizing a small child is better than paying a $5 shipping fee and wants me to deliver a letter to Duford Town and a package to Slateport. I did not sign up to work in the Amazon Fulfillment Center. Slateport, more like Slaveport. Got him! So because he owes me for saving his-
Okay, one second.
No, you. What?
What did that say?
What did it say?
Please laugh, I'm so
Oh.
fucking tired. Fuck you, I'm not laughing.
Yeah, try to actually be funny rather than being desperate, please.
Got him. So because he owes me for saving his bird/possible lover, Mr. Briny gives me a ride. Because I'm a sensible person and also G is underleveled, I go through the cave to find Stephen Stone first, and you'll be surprised to know what Mr. Stone's specialty is. That's right, it's Steel-type Pokemon. Anyway, I gave Steven his letter. He gives me his favorite TM, which is one that only one of his Pokemon can use, and it's not even his ace. Good job, Steven. And he leaves me there in a hole. Dick. So I crawled out and headed to Duford Gym to fight Brawley, the footage of which is lost thanks to OBS's patented, you left the pause button on after coming back from getting a sandwich, go fuck yourself, I'm not going to highlight that at all, and leave you looking like a liar technology. But just rest assured.
Yeah, that's your fault. Be a better YouTuber. Record that part, idiot.
Yeah, it's just like, don't put a complaint to OBS that's really niche in your video about Pokemon. It's really off topic.
Hell, I had an OBS fuck up for this whole thing, and guess what? I blamed myself for it. Not OBS, because I know when I fuck up.
Assured that it was a suitably amazing fight that I definitely didn't lose to 4 times. Don't type that fucking comment. So I arrive and sleep.
You suck! This is why your Valve needs to level up before its use. Seriously, Valve is not good until it hits the final evolution. Holy shit.
Yeah, Curlia can be a little half decent at times, but being a medieval kind of, it's iffy.
But the thing is, though, even with Corellia, the defenses are so lacking. A single good hit will do it in. Trust me, I've known. I've raised several Corellias before.
Yeah, that's fair.
It's like, it is essentially one shot or be one shot when it comes to Corellia. And, yeah, It's
And they're
good.
not a speedster.
And yeah, it's not a speedster, so you're not likely to go first.
Port City and fight my way through the beach full of tourists, demanding I have a Pokemon battle with them and insisting I give them my number. I arrived at the marine office.
Oh, that was mean! Did you see that?
No, I didn't. I heard about the tourists, but that's about it.
There's a little girl underneath that umbrella that you can't see.
I give them
So
my
this
number.
is
I
a
arrived at the
casual double battle. That is mean,
Yeah.
Game Freak.
Double battles rock.
Oh, I love double battles. Like, genuinely, my favorite side game is Coliseum. Well, XD Gale of Darkness specifically, but still. That whole series. And it's basically just Pokemon, but with double battles.
Yeah.
marine office only to be told that Captain Stern went to the museum. So I go to the museum and find that Aqua's milling about. Oh, well, that's definitely not a good sign. So when I go to give Captain Stern the Sea Pearl, I mean the Devon part, sorry, I thought it was in a more chaotic story for a second, Aqua shows up and tries to convince me to go party with them. Sir, I am not that kind of girl. So I crush them and Archie shows up and calls his own men simps for losing to a child. Sir, that's a combination of words I don't much care for.
What the fuck, Skull?
Archie thinks I'm part of
Wait,
Team
hold on,
Magma,
hold on,
which I
hold
found
on.
quite...
Hold on. Is Lily trying to say men shouldn't be pervs when Lily is the one saying this?
I don't know.
to a child. Sir, that's a combination of words I don't much care for.
Graham.
Archie thinks I'm part of Team
I don't like it.
Yeah, wow.
like it.
Kettle, pot, black.
Yeah.
Magma, which I found quite insulting, honestly. Do I look like I hang out in a volcano to you? On second thought, don't answer that. He says I will rue the day I stood in the way of his plans, and then just gives up and leaves. What a good sport. I find the Aqua Grunt
Because you stopped his plan!
Mm-hmm.
He's a leader! Leaders need to know when to back the fuck out! To go into a group, like...
Yeah.
I hate when Lily does like... And then they just fucked up. It's like, yeah! It's called strategic withdrawal!
Oh, you beat their fucking asses, so they ran away.
When
My
you
ultra
stop
secret
the plan,
technique.
they have to regroup!
My
Once I
ultra
beat up-
secret technique. Run away!
Ah, you're privy to the Joestar technique.
I wanted to say the actual Japanese word, but I'm honestly a little concerned.
Please don't. I am too scared to do that.
in the forest and Rusturf Tunnel, and he's apparently so traumatized he gives me a free TM and begs me not to hurt him. Did I just mug that guy? I run into Birch on the next route, who asks where Brendan is. Well, in my experience, he's either with my wife or writing Supercorp fanfiction.
Stop. Just stop. That's not a funny joke. That's honestly still pretty freaking creepy.
Why would a fucking 10-year-old be with your mother? That just makes your mother a pedo!
It was wife, but same difference, honestly. Whatever.
Wait, was it? Did I just miss you?
asks where Brendan is. Well, in my experience, he's either with my wife or writing Supercorp fanfiction.
Okay, okay, I just missed out that one. Okay, my apologies.
Yeah, you're good.
Love you, poet. Please don't fuck with me. I will cry. Actually, I found him further along the route.
Fuck with her. Make her cry.
So apparently Birch wasn't even looking very hard. Anyway, I crushed him. Okay, he crushed me. But I crushed him the second time and G evolved into a slightly bigger child. So I spent some time
Please don't!
Yeah, no. Just
training my
cease.
Pokemon in the road between Mauville and Verdanturf, because between all the trainers, there's like 30 Pokemon with trainer XP, and you're a fool if you don't soak it up like the gluttonous hog you are. But after that, my only thing to do is snag the bike and rush right for the gym. In the remake, they made Mauville a real crossroads town that you keep coming back to for story reasons as part of the general padding the game with dialogue that goes into most of these remakes. Actually, fuck, I forgot, Wally's here, and he wants to battle with just a level...
Honestly,
sorry,
I
what's up?
like it. It makes the games more unique. Because I hold the opinion that remakes should not just be one-on-one recreations with just, like, modern mechanics. Because that's what they did with Brilliant Diamond Shining Pearl, and that is universally hated.
Hey, yeah, that game was just zero nuance. Oh, you want us to be faithful? There. Oh, you weren't complaining about faithfulness? We don't care.
Please.
Anyways, I was zoning out a bit. I missed the point she was trying to make.
She's saying that in the remakes they made this real crossroads town, so you return here quite often for story progression.
Yep.
Which I don't even think is really that true.
It's not so much story progression, but it is a good hub for a lot of things.
But like that's the thing though. I would argue every Pokemon game needs a hub to get like most daily things at least. Hell, this is where the inverse battle is.
And sadly, before this cool remake, all it really was a somewhat just okay town with gambling. Fun gambling, but gambling.
And Pokemon daycare.
Oh,
like,
wait,
right
I thought
outside
that was
the
off
town.
to the side route.
It's like right outside of town.
Fair enough, yeah.
Like, if I recall, it's counted on the route, but it's basically within city distance.
They made Mauville a real crossroads town that you keep coming back to for story reasons as part of the general padding the game with dialogue that goes into most of these remakes. Actually, fuck, I forgot, Wally's here and he wants to battle with just a level 16 rolls. Aw, poor kid. After crushing the dreams of my apprentice and putting him on an arc to train and grow stronger and meet me at Victory Road and get crushed again, I continue on to the gym. Kinda, I'm telling the story out of order. Watson's gym has this obnoxious button puzzle that is determined to make you think you can get around the gym trainers, but you can't, and it makes you die a little inside. But once you actually get to Watson, it turns out he's a very gentle and supportive pile driver right into the pavement. I got by just that.
Man, I'm starting to think you're not good at this game, Lily.
I thought we kind of already established that with the previous videos, but yeah.
Yeah, but she hasn't mentioned how often she lost on like this. Like, this is like, what, the third required fight she lost in a row?
No,
Well, I guess technically not because of Wally breaking it up, but still.
She was pretty butthurt in the last two, but usually it wasn't just her saying, I lost and I moved on. It was her saying, man, I can't believe this game is so bad because of this, and I'm so butthurt. And we sort of just remember complaining about her complaining rather than just how much she actually lost or not.
Yeah, that's true. But it's like, she lost to the Brawl-type gym leader. She lost to the Electric-type gym leader. She lost to her rival. She is losing, like, half of the required fights so far. Maybe more of a quarter, but still. Yeah, skill issue.
It'll be interesting seeing G's moveset, honestly. Considering how we saw Butterfree.
Calm mind on G, at least until he got in that cheeky sonic boom.
You're paralyzed! Your slow Pokemon's already slower, and sure it can take special hits more better, but it's still fragile as fuck!
And since you're not doing a challenge where you are prevented from healing in the middle of battle, you have all the means to make sure your Pokemon is not at 20 HP to the I've drained 20 HP move. This is made. Sorry, if I may.
Yeah, sorry. I just want to look up Koda's stats.
Yeah, this is made even worse by the video clearly showing that 20 HP is a little around a third of their health at the moment, so you have more than enough power to just keep them at full health and tank a few Sonic Booms. It's not like early game where a Sonic Boom is a death sentence in either one hit or nearly a hit. You had all the means to prevent this, and yet the issue is that they dared to use Sonic Boom when your strategy was I tank things and stack up my stats. Guess what? That has counters. That's called snowballing, and it doesn't always work.
Also, by the way, too, the fact that Sonic Boom to set damage doesn't apply to this, but Corellia only has 38 base HP.
That sucks.
Like as I said, the problem with Corellia is that it can't tank for shit. It may be able to take a special hit, because that's at Special Defense 55. But again, that low HP stat is not helping that case at all. Like,
yeah.
If Corellia gets hit, it's going to almost guarantee die.
That cheeky sonic boom, little stinker. Second time around, I tried to do the combine trick again, but somebody decided to blow up. Fine, I'll go level grind some more, you...
Don't level grind! Use a revive! Fucking hell! Also,
I mean, or just level grind. That's not a bad thing.
Calm mind, confusion, double team, teleport.
a surprisingly normal moveset. To be fair, it's too early in the game to use TMs to try and sway this, so yes, it's just a plain learn set, but doing fine so far.
I was gonna be honest. I am pretty sure that most of this was just stuff you got from just being a Crawlia. Not Crawlia.
That's what I said. It's from the learn set. That's what I was trying to say.
Yeah. So I was just looking back into the Generation 3.
Yeah, anyways, before we move on, again, upset that Voltorb used the Voltorb strat of exploding, and your Pokemon was not a physical tank and therefore took the big damage. Wow, I wonder why I'm losing. What?
Is this Self-Destruct special?
It's a normal type move.
Oh yeah, I forgot there's a physical special split.
Even afterwards, both Explosion and Self-Destruct are still physical.
Oh damn.
Yep. Exploding
Wait,
is
isn't this also cuts your defense stat in half still?
Ooh, that I don't know. I forgot about that detail. Yeah, I don't know. But basically, again, the issue isn't so much that Explosion is overpowered, it's that it's a fairly understandable strat. You can think ahead and maybe wonder what you should do about this instead of just throwing your favorite little Curlia at it and think that she's going to solve the problem.
So you could have done double team in hopes of avoiding that self-destruct.
You could have switched out. You should probably heal off paralysis. There's a ton of things you could do in this scenario, except cry like a little baby bitch.
Also, I checked it up. Yeah, self-destruct has the defense all the way up until Gen 5.
Wow.
So, yeah, no. So, just point out, by the way, self-destruct is 200 power. Actually, I think it was 150 back then. Or 130. It got, okay, no, yeah, in Gen 2 onwards, it got upgraded to 200. And then, because of the defense halving, it's effectively 400. So that Coolia just took 400 physical damage and died. 400 power physical damage and died. As
but it's definitely not her fault. It's the game's fault for being so bad.
Mind trick again, but somebody decided to blow up. Fine, I'll go level grind some more, you bastard. Third time's the charm, and this time I actually managed to get a few calm minds off, and she survived the self-destruct on 1 HP like a fucking mad lass.
You got so lucky!
Yeah.
Because,
I mean, great for having a Pokemon hype moment in Aura. That's honestly one of the greatest joys of Pokemon, but all the same, you got lucky.
You definitely got, like, that had to have been in the damage range. Because, again, 38 defense. That was a Voltorb, right?
Yes. Voltorbs, I haven't looked at their exact stats, but Voltorb and Electrode are super high speed, not much in anything else.
Okay, yeah, that's 30 attack.
Womp womp.
If it was an Electrode, she would definitely be dead, though.
Yeah.
Because Electrode has 50 attack. My god, I forget how shit they are. I forgot there's a reason why they're explosion and nothing else.
Mm-hmm. They have nothing.
I'm sorry I ever doubted you. Now don't fuck this up for me. And you know what happened? She didn't. She bodied all of them. Mantrick was a little bitch with the super potions, but I was equally scummy, so I guess I can't complain. I mean, I'm gonna complain anyway, but still. So on the road to Philarbor Town, one of the longest and most interesting routes in the game, I decided to take on the...
So, this is off topic, but I just...
Anyway, but still. So on the road to Philarbor Town, one of the longest and most interesting routes in the game, I decided to take...
Walking through and changing the gray ash into back to luscious green.
Yeah. Also, I know in Fire Red Leaf Green this is true. I forget if it's true in Ruby Sapphire Emerald, but I believe this was also still within the time that Cut could even clear grass.
Should be. They use the same code for essentially everything, so if it does in one generation, there's a good chance it does in the other.
Yeah, true.
on the Winstraight family because the reward they give you is a Macho Brace, an item that doubles the EV points you get. Normally this is a good thing because it means you can spend less time making your Pokemon stronger, but in normal story mode play, you can't control what you fight, and so that just means my Pokemon are becoming terrible faster. Hope you like those attack EVs, G. So the route to Falarbra...
I mean, that's because Macho Brand isn't really meant for story?
Yeah, it's a training tool, and EVs, you're not supposed to worry about EVs until competitive, just in general.
Like, natures I understand worrying about even in a casual game. You don't necessarily need it, but definitely helps. EVs is going to be so, especially if it's a Pokemon you get early. If it's a Pokemon that I get early before any of the EV training items, I just don't bother. If I get, like, let's say, not the Macho Brand, but, what was the one that increased, like, physical attack again?
Like...
That turns all EVs gained into attack?
I think that's the Power Base?
Like, the power set, that's what they were called. But yeah, no, if I get, like, access to the power items, then yeah, I would actively work on EV training then. Because then I just throw it onto my Pokemon, it doesn't matter what they fight, they get the EV value for it. But, like, that's as far as I go for EV training in just going through a Pokemon journey. And I feel like that's the way they intended it. Just don't worry about it until afterwards. Because you're not going to have a perfect Pokemon for competitive right off the bat. You have to jump through hoops to get that.
Yeah.
Takes you up a mountain, through a fiery cave, and out another long path that leads up to a rest house, and then through an ash field before finally reaching Falarbra. What the fuck? That's like 4 environment changes on one route. That's not even counting the desert, which is completely optional and unlocked later as a shortcut back to Mauville, if you don't feel like going through the rest of Meteor Falls. Remember what I said earlier about how some of the routes in this game are really long and really interesting? There's another one later after we get Badge 5, but this is some really cool environment design here. Almost makes sense that the cable car and desert aren't accessible, because otherwise you'd miss out on this really good route and tons of experience. The Ashlands themselves are probably the most unique area in the entire franchise, and you could pick up little puffs of dirt to make flutes with. Well, this is delightful. Once we make it through the Ashlands and get to Falarbra Town, the first thing to do is run immediately past Falarbra Town and over to Meteor Falls. On the way there, G evolved into Gardevoir, and now I have a walking nuke for a best friend. Nothing can hurt me now, except the dark. One thing of note is that
I hate that. I hate that so much.
I know, I hate that very much.
That's not normal.
She is not normal about Gardevoir whatsoever, and is not normal about Pokemon whatsoever. And trust me, the fact that she's openly showing the evidence of this, whether or not she's mentioning it, is still so terrible.
Yep.
Gardevoir's sprite is pretty androgynous in Gen 3. It's funny how later gens would actually try to make them look a lot more feminine, you know, round out their horn, give them a masculine counterpart evolution. Man, all those memes really fucked Game Freak up, didn't it? Apparently in Meteor Falls, Magma and
To be fair, I feel like the design would definitely be different if Gallade did exist back in Gen 3.
I also didn't really see what kind of point she was trying to make, honestly. It's like, oh, here's Gardevoir. Here's Gardevoir in a slightly more expressive pose. Immediately, that's a woman!
Yeah, no, she's trying to make the point out the fact that whenever someone sees Gardevoir, they automatically assume female.
Yeah.
And it's like, I'll be honest, this is one thing that I don't like about the Valtz line, is that Gallade should have just been the male counterpart to Gardevoir, and Gardevoir should only have been the female counterpart to Gallade. Okay, maybe that's not true. But yeah, no, I feel... the point she's bringing up is that because Game Freak did it this way, a lot of the Gardevoir I'm a guy jokes was able to exist.
Yeah.
get into a fight about a meteor that they're trying to steal from some scientist. Magma cheeses it. Archie apologizes for assuming I was part of Team Magma. Great, now apologize for your men hitting on me. I am only 10. I then have to chase Team Magma.
They never did!
They never did. You're making stuff up. Oh my god.
Back to Mount Chimney because they're trying to make a volcano erupt to expand the land. and kill everyone in its wake. Did you not think this through? We want more land for human expansion. What humans? You're gonna kill them all, Maxie. Are you infected by an alien plague? Is this the fucking screwfly solution? You're gonna bury humanity, you trash man. You piss boy. You prodigious buffoon. So after I destroy Maxie with facts and logic, he just leaves and leaves them.
Sorry. Like, it's not obvious, but it's like, if it's not obvious, like, no, they're supposed to be crazy people who have gone so far into their own extremes that they do not see much reasonable logic anymore. And I don't even know what part of the game mentions that doing this will kill everybody. In their eyes, I don't think they even plan to kill a single soul. They literally just plan to either extend the land mass or the water mass for the sake of humans or Pokemon. They do not have any contemplation about the repercussions of summoning Pokemon gods to do this.
And if you want to make an argument, yeah, Aqua is also kind of doing the same thing, just opposite. They want to go and expand the water mass for Pokemon, ignoring the fact that doing that would kill people on land, as they all just start drowning.
Yeah, but they're designed to be illogical.
Sorry, go ahead.
They're designed to be illogical. They're designed to be extremists who have lost all sense of lost all common sense and reason. Not that I like using the words common sense in this day and age, but they have lost all sense of reason and are diving into their extremes because they're not. It's not delusional. It's just getting too much lost in their own thoughts without anyone trying to stop them.
Yeah, it's just. Remember, these are evil people. The ideals does not need to be logical. Hell, Cyrus, which we're gonna get to, wants to create a new world. Wants to create a new universe. If that's not delusional, I don't know what is.
Pokemon is not the best at politics, but this ultimately was a political statement about how extremists can get so very lost in their own thoughts without anyone to stop them, and this is the result of extremism.
Yep. Another good example of that one would actually be Black and White, but we'll get to that when we get to that.
Yep.
Meteorite here. What the fuck is going on in that man's head? Then Archie asks, whose side am I on? Sir, I literally wasn't allowed to move on with my badges until I came up here. Perhaps you should stop blocking every route and children wouldn't go looking for you to get you out of their way. I'm on whichever side helps me become the champion. Actually, since I'm here, out of all the wordy supervillains...
Again, we already know you're not a good person, but you're not helping your case!
No, I was just thinking, like, okay, that's just plain metagaming. That's not even a fair critique of anything, because how is he supposed to know that he's blocking a trainer from progress? He's just doing his big main evil plan. That's what I was looking for, main. Anyways, like, oh my goodness.
Lily. I am going to have an aneurysm because of you.
Yeah.
Pokemon has, Magma and Aqua are probably the best because they only have a few moments in the story. Plasma and Galactic are encountered at damn near every route in their respective games, and you often have no choice but to stop them. But I went several towns before running into Magma and Aqua again, and I think that's pretty neat. I won't run into them again until the Weather Institute, and that's a whole 2.5 badges away. And that makes sense. They need that time to go concoct their evil schemes. I shouldn't be running into them every 5 minutes, Unova! They're not as good as Giovanni, but...
Okay! But here's the thing, though. Hold on.
Go ahead.
Here's the thing, though. The difference is this. Is the fact with Team Magma and Aqua, they are two opposing forces of each other, and they're probably doing stuff behind the scenes that we don't even see. Not to mention, we actually stopped their major plans constantly. Unlike with Sinnoh, where it's like, oh yeah, the attack on the windmill, we technically failed that. Because they still got the energy from it. Their mission was still a success from it, so they can move on straight to the next plan.
That, and in any of these scenarios, the points where they're at are usually strategic points where they get parts of their plan. But placing those requires, decent world building. You can't just place the Weather Institute right after just such and so. It makes sense that it's out beyond the city, but all the same, it can't just be the very next stop you make. The reason you don't encounter them so much is because of any sort of storytelling of how quick or fast their teams are, Why did I say quick or fast? Anyways, but it's just a matter of we couldn't put the next major event here or there. We had to wait until a certain part where it made sense. In in Sinnoh's case, a lot of these things both either are in major cities or near major cities, and there's plenty more of them to do because there's plenty more of the linchpin things for Team Galactic to find. That's it. Team Galactic, yes. Sorry, mixing up with Team Plasma. I do this a lot. But yeah, it's not a matter of the villain storytelling. It's just a matter of how they built their world. They being the developers, sorry.
There's a lot of shit that goes into development of a game. Like, it's never easy. And also, one thing that I want to do that Strawb, please remind me later is
schemes.
Let's see. There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. There's 12 times you met with Team Aqua / Team Magma. How often do you recall that you meet Team Plasma in Black and White?
Team Plasma. You'd think I'd remember this, but ironically, Team Plasma is one of the more write-off parts of the game. Okay, let's try in order. Accumula Town is where it all begins. Then you have the skull in the town. You think I'd remember the town names? Nuvema? No.
Let's just go say Rock Gem, because I know that's the Rock Gem.
No, that's the normal gem. You said Unova.
Is it not?
There is no rock gym in Generation 5.
But I thought the normal gem was only in Black and White too.
No, you haven't faced Lenora.
Oh, I'm confusing her typing, that's why.
You don't remember Retaliate Watchhog? Oh my lord. Sorry, we'll hold that for later.
I never played Black and White. I never actually played it. I want to play it. It's what.
Anyways, sorry, trying to retrace our steps. So, Accumula, Lenora, I think in version 1 they aren't counted in Castelia, then in Black and White 2 they are, but that's different.
We're only doing one. We're only doing the first game.
Yeah. I'm trying to think of... Yeah, no, they don't happen in Generation 1, so you move on to the desert, which also has nothing in them. You encounter N again at the carnival in the Nimbasa. Then you go across the bridge. Then you can meet him in the cold storage. Cave technically has a bit of an encounter with Shadow Triad. Otherwise, it's pretty uneventful. But that's technically 5. Oh gosh, what happens? Out of the cave, you're next to the airport city, which is a bunch of nothing such in terms of Team Plasma. Even on, I think... Wait, that's one of the towers in the route after that town. I think they're part of... No. If it's the one with the bell, no.
I believe that's the one where... You're talking about Dragon Spiral, right?
I'm pretty sure.
Because
that route where you encounter...
City?
Huh?
Icarus City, the one with Dragon Spiral that has okay, so Icarus City,
yes.
to the north exit is Dragon Spiral, south exit is Twisted Mountain, and then east exit is Route 8.
Right. No, I could have sworn there was some sort of tower on that route where you encounter the 2 storm gods.
Oh, Celestial Tower?
Might be. Yeah, 1 sec. So, currently at 5, trying to keep that straight. So yeah, Celestial Tower has the bell, and is encountered on Route... Yeah, Route 7 is the one I'm thinking of. That has Celestial Tower, and I think that might be... Yeah, that is devoid of Team Plasma. That's just trainers in a... Basically, the Pokemon Tower from Red and Blue.
Yeah.
What else? Then we have Dragon Spiral, which does have a Team Plasma encounter at some point. I know just from the sense that it's plot relevant because it's where the orb is.
So at what, 6 or 7?
6 currently. Then you're crossing the bridge into Upper Lucid, which in the first game doesn't have any major encounter I can think of. Uh, it's kind of becoming hazy where we go from there, frankly, because I guess it's kind of nothing such until the Elite Four, where they crash the party, and that's about 7. I may be forgetting an encounter or so. But ultimately, yes, we do encounter them less, but not by less frequency, just less quantity.
Yeah.
You do still basically go city to city and encountering them almost every time.
To be fair, you're essentially following N. Says you and N are
Yeah.
always leaving in like the exact same direction.
Yep.
And yeah, sorry, I just
Anyways,
wanted to go and do that because to me it never feels we really see one evil team more than the other.
Yeah, and honestly, it's not that much an issue. Like,
It's really
yeah,
not.
you keep encountering them, but that's kind of the point. I mean, ideally, you're supposed to keep encountering them because it means you're making progress in beating them and their evil plans, which is saving the world. And what is that cross-shaped thing in the middle of the water?
Honestly, I don't know.
Sorry, like your mouse started hovering over, and I was like, "Wait, what is that landmass? You can't get there."
I
What are
think
you
it's
doing
just
there?
added detail. Like most of I forgot what that town is called in the bottom left.
Dewford.
Dewford.
Pretty sure
I'm pretty sure it's just supposed to be just miscellaneous land detail.
All right, fair enough.
I don't know. Sorry,
Oy.
we took way too long on this point. It's just, and also sorry for spoiling Black and White. We haven't got there, but it's just like she's mentioning like, oh yeah, they're all so far in between. But no, I think Team Aqua and Magma are ones that we actually see most of, which makes sense because
Yep.
there's 2 of them. And hell, if we don't want to double count the one in, I forget the fucking city's name, the one with the museum. If we don't want to count that, those 2 encounters, if we want to count that one as 1, then that's still 11. Which is still
Also, they're
5
pretty
more
much
than Unova.
back. Anyways,
Yeah, sorry.
That's a whole 2.5 badges away. And that makes sense. They need that time to go concoct their evil schemes. I shouldn't be running into them every 5 minutes, Unova. They're not as
Oh, even then, in Unova, we don't really stop them. Because
and we just
all
covered
going
how
the same
little you
way.
encounter them.
You don't even encounter them that much compared to this one. Also, you're going the same way. And also, you're not stopping the plans. The plans keep going uninterrupted no matter how many times we fight them. It's literally only in the final fight in the Elite Four that we put a stop to a plan of theirs.
Also, you're gonna have to forgive me. I forgot an encounter with Team Plasma, the Dream Yard, which is pretty early in the game. So
Dream
if you
Yard-
count
so
like the
8.
early game, if you count the early game, they're kind of maybe halfway back to back, but not in any way that matters.
I mean, they're the first 3 cities, so yeah.
Yeah.
So, like, yeah. But also makes sense considering there's technically 2 different forces of Team Plasma at work. I don't want to get into it due to story reasons. It's just... No. It's not that big of a deal. Also, like, with Unova, you actually stop these guys' plans. Unova, you literally watch them take away the one object they need. They actually need for the plan to work.
Yep.
good as Giovanni, but I'll take Patchy the Pirate and the Sons of Adam as a compromise. So the gym in Lava Ridge Town is, how do I put it? Fucking terrible. You have to step on these pads to go between levels, and the distinction between what's a pad and what's a trainer hiding under the mud hoping you get there before they suffocate to death is left up to the machinations of fate. Sometimes it just throws you in the middle of a double battle. Isn't that great? And the
I'm gonna be honest, I was looking at that, maybe it's just experience, because again, I have beaten Emerald before. But like, if I was new and I saw that, just two holes right in front of each other like this, I need to do this. I would be looking at that like, yeah, those are trainer battles, aren't they?
Yeah, that, and I'm surprised she didn't complain about the earlier version where little ninja kids are hiding in the ash mounds on the ash route of, what, not 111, the one after that. Anyways, point is, they tried this trick before, and somehow that wasn't an issue in the pretty ashland, but is an issue here.
In the sauna? In the sauna gym?
Yeah, and again, though we kind of covered this in previous videos, just face the trainers. It's neat when sometimes you can dodge them, but this is ultimately just a chance for people who are inexperienced, little babies, to try to get around the supposed challenge. Anyone worth their salt can handle these trainers and will not complain about the minutia of battling them, because wouldn't you know it, you're playing a Pokemon game. This is the point.
And how there's literally nothing stopping you from beating all the trainers, going up to heal, and then fighting the gym leader. If you don't want to do that, because you don't see that as like a fair challenge, that's fine. But that's not a problem with the game. That is, you have a rule set.
Yep.
Like, and even then, it's like, I'm sorry, but it's like, half of this game is battling. If you don't want to battle, why are you playing the game? If you want to catch Pokemon, there's Let's Go. There's the Let's Go series. There's Paldea, which honestly I say is more catching Pokemon than battling. And there's Legends ZA and Legends Arceus. If you don't want to battle trainers, we have a lot of Pokemon games that don't make you battle trainers at all, really.
And most people who are about catching are usually not here to complain about the fact that they have to do more than just catching Pokemon. Sorry, I ran out of breath.
Honestly, I don't argue if you're not catching Pokemon. You're basically just, if you're not catching Pokemon to fight, you're basically just using them as trophies. Because you can't even argue that she's using them for Pokedex completion here. Because she's not catching Pokemon to fill the Pokedex. She's just catching Pokemon to use Pokemon. So you can't even argue. Like, I'm sorry, I just realized how hypocritical it is that she badmouths, like, shiny Pokemon. Or Pokemon with a rare move. As being nothing more than trophies. Or how that Tyranitar is only a trophy Pokemon because you get at the end of the game. Well, she wants to catch Pokemon, her favorite Pokemon, and then just walk with it feels. Not necessarily battling, except for, like, the gym leaders. As we already said. If you don't battle trainers and you get to the gym leader, you're just gonna die! You've kept dying so many times! And it's not that hard! I swear! You haven't even fought fucking Norman yet!
Sorry. Based on at least the dialogue of a retrospective, it does seem that she wants to, use the murder bug to murder people and such. So she does kind of want to battle, but then betrays it, of course, by not actually battling enough to make the Pokemon worth it. Or at least she does with Butterfree, but it doesn't do it the same with everyone else, which, yes, just keeps making the game harder.
Hell, I'm gonna be honest, Calm Mind. Sometimes I just ditch Calm Mind just because God of War is just a bit too fragile to use it sometimes. Because if I try to use that setup move, I'm just gonna get 2-tapped anyway. So I might as well just do an attack just to get off some damage.
Error.
It's an error, but...
I don't have...
It's an error, but if I do Calm Mind and then the opponent still... if I do Calm Mind and the opponent outspeeds me, and then just kill me in that second hit, then I just wasted God of War for nothing.
Yeah.
Like,
and I don't have enough experience with God of War anyways.
God of War can take a hit, but it's still fragile. That's kind of the issue. And since it can't outspeed, setting up with her is not as reliable. Because if a Pokemon outspeeds her and can just 2-tap her, well, then just setting up is just going to get you killed. You might as well just do an attack.
Mm-hmm.
On these pads to go between levels, and the distinction between what's a pad and what's a trainer hiding under the mud hoping you get there before they suffocate to death is left up to the machinations of fate. Sometimes it just throws you in the middle of a double battle. Isn't that great? And the gym leader stammers her introduction despite having all that time to prepare it. Great first impressions, Flannery.
Performance anxiety!
Yeah, 1, performance anxiety. 2, she's still pretty new. And yeah, 3, performance anxiety.
Performance anxiety, she's still new to the job. She could just be a shy person. I know that's not the case, but...
Yeah, they're trying to tell a little story here. It's an amazing little quirk that she's not just, "Hi, I'm John Gym Leader. Oh, you are here to challenge me. That's great. I love a challenge. Now let us get ready to battle."
Yeah, no, she's not the typical fire type gym leader, because a lot of fire, like, stereotypes for fire types, like, "Oh yeah, let's do this, I'm burning bright!"
She's not that bad.
I apologize. No, I'm just saying, she doesn't have the typical quirk of, like, fire types being hot-headed. Which, hilariously, Blaine doesn't have that.
it is a little funny that she's all this sort of anxious and nervous in a sauna, a place where you're supposed to relax and loosen up your muscles.
Yep. Which honestly makes me think she really is just a nervous wreck in general. Which she feels out of her element. Because like she's in a sauna and she's nervous. Like that's kind of impressive.
Why did so many girls have crushes on you back in 2002? So because this is a
She doesn't have a crush on you!
What?
Read her fucking dialogue! Read the fucking city's lore! She's legit new to this! You'll probably like her second actual trainer fight! Or cheerleader fight, whatever the fuck you want to call it.
But reading gets in the way of my fan fiction and thinking about horny thoughts.
You're not
Sorry,
wrong.
I am actually kind of sorry for making that joke.
Maybe you were a mistake. Maybe I should scrap it. No, I'm joking.
Where?
To the Shadow Realm with you!
Nah!
fire gym and I have a core fish, I feel that what I'm about to do to these Pokemon is some kind of war crime. Or at least I would if Slugma didn't get off a sunny day boosted overheat. Fine, Banshee.
Hey, good! You got beaten!
Well, yeah, anyways.
Challenging!
It's almost as if the whole gimmick of Sun is to help deal with a water weakness. Quite bizarre indeed.
Also, looks like we're having roasted crab for dinner.
Hell yeah, I love. But well, actually, Corvus is a lobster.
Okay, fair. We're having roasted lobster for dinner.
I would prefer boiled because that's how you cook a lobster. But anyways,
With some kind
We're in
of
a
war
sauna. That's close enough.
crime. Or at least I would if Slugma didn't get off a sunny day boosted overheat. Fine, Banshee, solve everything. So I have the 4th badge, and then Brendan gives me some goggles to get through the desert. Love you, poet. Heading back to Petalburg, I decided to take the Rusturf Tunnel instead of Meteor Falls because I wanted to explore the desert. The desert's a cool zone, but there isn't much to it. It's just a place to fight ground trainers and just see this new tile set. But I did come here for one reason, and that was to catch a Trapinch. Trapinch is really good. It evolves into Flygon, which covers my need for a fly user, and also covers a lot of weaknesses in my team. You can't go wrong with it, honestly. One trip back.
Can Flygon use fly?
I believe so.
Okay, because I know the whole gimmick is that they're technically not a flying type. They have levitate to make up for that.
Well, yeah, but that does not mean they can't fly.
True.
Like, there are Pokemon that are not flying type that can learn fly. It's just the problem is, since you essentially have to learn fly through HM, it's hard to know right off the bat if a Pokemon can use fly or not.
Fair.
Yep, fly in the TM list.
Cool.
Back through Rusturf Tunnel in the woods later, and I'm back at my father's. So the Petalburg's gym's gimmick is item usage. You choose a room that centers around a different stat, attack, speed, defense, whatever, and not only are the Pokemon geared toward that stat, they use items to boost those stats. It is kind of interesting because that necessitates different counterplay. Do you want to go for the bulky ones and melt them, or take your bulky Pokemon against Sweeper? When you reach Norman, he's using everything. His main Pokemon is a Slacking, which hits like a truck and can tank a lot of damage, but moves very slowly. I fought like a dirty coward spamming Calm Mind on Spinda because spamming Calm Mind is literally the best decision you can ever make, and with G being
Hard disagree!
We kind of got to just cover that it doesn't work like that. Technically, its Gardevoir things are a little better, but you're fighting a physical Pokemon, not that much better.
Yeah, no, Calm Mind is doing nothing for your defense stat. And also, be happy there's not Retaliate in this gen.
Yeah.
When I played Allvast and I saw Retaliate Slacking, I was shitting myself! That was terrifying!
It gets even worse, because Retaliate's animation in Generation 6 onward is a Samurai, Liaido, is it called?
Yeah, it's a Samurai Showdown where everything goes black besides, like, the characters. You see the slash, and yeah.
Yeah, Monkey swipes his paw at you, cuts you in half, and not roses, Sakura flutter in the wind.
Yep, it's really cool and fucking terrifying.
Because you're dead.
Yep. It's a hard time for moving when you're dead.
Yeah, it's honestly such a banger fight in general, even before that, because slacking is such a serious threat, but has such a notable weakness that you really have to think and try hard.
Seriously,
It is such a difficult thing.
slacking is so strong, they gave it to Hell, this was before Regigigas, actually. Where its
By one whole
ability is there
generation.
to actively harm it. Because otherwise, you would just have a 670 stat total Pokemon to fuck shit up with. 150 HP, 160 attack, 100 defense, 95 special attack. Its special defense is only 65, but it has 100 speed, so... Yeah, if God of War faces slacking, it's just dead. It is just dead.
Yeah.
To be fair, the Calm Mind will help it out, but the slacking will outspeed it.
A lot faster than any of his other Pokemon. It was just a straight sweep. You see how broken this Pokemon is? People think I'm joking when I say Gardevoir needs some serious nerfs because they aren't very good and competitive. But in the main game, they just slaughter by virtue of having good moves. A big problem.
Here's the thing, though. The reason why it slaughtered was because you probably set up Calm Mind 6 times. Which is how
In
big of
which
an increase?
anything... shoot, you think I remember? I think it's 4x? Why can't I remember?
Wouldn't it be 3x, since if you do it twice, it's double?
No, I think the cap is actually 4x. From competitive experience.
Um...
I don't remember how the math works out, because obviously it's only 1.5 times per. But again, I can remember 4x pretty clearly, whereas 3x is not quite there yet.
Yeah, so I'm looking it up. When a move is used that increases or decreases a stat in battle, it will be multiplied according to the following fractions depending on the generation. So, since we're doing Gen 3 and onwards, so stat multipliers 2, then plus 1. Okay, yeah, so it is a 4
3 over
times.
2 is 1. Yeah, 3 over 2 would be 1.5, 4 over 2 would be 2, 5 over 2 would be 2.5. 6 over 2 is 3, then 7 over 2 is 3.5, and then finally 4.5. I say 4 types words.
Yeah, no, it is 2 over 2, 3 over 2, 4 over 2, 5 over 2, 6 over 2, 7 over 2, 8 over 2. So yeah, you have a times 4 God of War. Even Pokemon that are not special attackers, if they have a 4 times to their special attack, would be doing damage. And Eevee could be doing this.
And you're using Psychic, which also means you have a reliable damage source, which, well, would be underperforming if you didn't have Stat Boost. Once you have Stat Boost, it does perfectly fine.
Does it calm? The reason why this is good is due to Calm Mind.
Yeah, the only reason you swept is because by some miracle, Gardevoir is slightly faster than any of the other contenders.
Probably
But this
due
could
to the
also be
random
level
Eevee.
gaps. Yeah, it could also be level gaps.
It's only 2 levels higher, which will make the difference, but I think it was the EVs that pushed it over. Or maybe it has a speed nature, who knows?
Who knows? Point is, this is really an outlier, not the norm.
Again, I love God of War, I love Gallade.
With Psychic types in
My expertise. And not because of the perverted reasons.
Gen 1 was that they had very high Spatak and Spadoof by virtue of how the special stat worked, and their big weakness was physical attacks. A lot of them were reconfigured to just one of those in Gen 2, but Gardevoir, again, has very high Spatak and Spadoof, and the ability to...
But that doesn't apply in this fight! You're facing physical!
Sorry, the special attack does in terms of damage, but that's it.
Yeah, no, the special defense doesn't. And also, I just want to point out, okay, interesting.
65,
Alakazam still
65.
outperforms.
Well, that's because that's the point of Alakazam. The whole point of Alakazam is he's supposed to outperform basically most of the competition. He may get power crept at later generations, but by and large, he was one of the highest special attackers in the game, and that was the point.
Also, 120 speed. Jesus Christ, I forgot why I love Alakazam.
Big, fragile sweeper.
ability to pad those stats with an early game Calm Mind. Calm Mind makes you stronger and bulkier, and it really should only do one of those things. This isn't helped by the fact...
No, because if it only does one of those things, it would probably not be as good. Like, we have Howl.
Yeah.
No one uses Howl because it does too little. Hell, I honestly would not mind a Nasty Plot for God of War, because Nasty Plot would be so much better.
Mm-hmm.
I don't even know if God of War can learn Nasty Plot. I actually don't remember.
I wouldn't know. I haven't studied God of War much at all. Anyways, it's like sorry, what is she complaining about again about this? Like, it's good, it's bad, what?
Was Nasty Plot introduced in Gen 4?
I'll check. You keep yapping.
I think it was, because I'm only getting Gen 4 and onwards. So, yeah.
Yep,
so,
Generation 4.
Okay, and... let's see. Holy shit. They don't learn it. At least not by level up.
Understandable.
Do they at least
Like,
learn it through TM? No!
You have to remember, Nasty Plot is Nasty Plot. They try to theme what moves a Pokemon gets by whether or not they would actually be able to use that move by and large. There are some exceptions, but that's just for balancing reasons. So it makes sense that this Pokemon that's usually pretty demure and, graceful and such, doesn't learn the thing which is quite literally plotting someone's demise.
I know, but it's... this is what I'm saying, though. If Calm Mind was literally just a worse Nasty Plot, no one would really be running it, unless they literally have no choice. Hell, if God of War could learn Nasty Plot, people are just going to use that over Calm Mind. Because the special defense does not matter nearly as much if the plan is to sweep. And God of War can't really do that, so... hey, maybe Calm Mind will have a use. I just don't like it because I feel like it takes too long to actually power up. And by the time I power up, I'm halfway to dead.
I do like that it's both offensive and defensive buffs. There's times where that can definitely work. But actually, I don't know where to go with that. It is generally a good move. It's just slower in pace in terms of offense or defense, because it's doing both at the same time.
Yeah, and there are times where that's just straight up not an option for you.
Yeah, it's good. Like, God of War is like one of my favorites, Primarina. Amazing special tank who can easily lean into that and become honestly unstoppable if your opponent is consistently using special attacks. However, on the physical department, huge weakness that you constantly have to account for. Once you do that, find Pokemon. Until then, this Pokemon is held back.
Yep. Fun fact of the day for everybody. Calm Mind. I don't like it, but it does have its uses. And we're gonna have really glazed it even more later down the line. Because, I'm sorry, God of War does not need enough. Honestly, hell, it got buff that it deserved in gaining Fairy, but I still say that Psychic types in general need a buff. We've gone way too far.
That Dark, the type added to rein Psychic types in, is special. So even without Calm Mind, they can still take a crunch to the face, and with it, it's even worse. You'd think Gen 4 fixed this with the physical special split, but it didn't. Gardevoir just got even more moves, and they could already learn Reflect to curb physical attackers. You give Gardevoir Reflect and Calm Mind, and they're basically unkillable. How bad is it? It's this bad.
Okay, yeah, that's bad. That's very bad.
Yeah, that would have killed if it was not for Reflect.
True, I sometimes undersell the importance of Reflect.
Because, like, don't forget, this is Platinum. This is against Cynthia, and that was Dragon Rush, a physical type move.
100 base power.
Yep, 100 base power, physical. Dragon... yeah. I'm sorry, I'm trying to remember something. Oh yeah, I want to look up Garchomps.
To yap in your place, basically, the scary part about this is ultimately just Reflect. Reflect cuts down damage of physical attacks by half, which means anything that does half of your HP would have killed you. Good news, it only did half of your HP this time, so you're alive to retaliate, and if you're boosted with Calm Mind, wouldn't you know, you're going to kill them. So it's a great strategy, but it's ultimately down to Reflect, not so much Gardevoir. The only reason that Reflect would fail is if Gardevoir had such terrible, terrible defenses that they were basically non-existent.
Yeah, that took a 130 base power attack.
Not 130. What?
130 attack for Garchomp.
Oh, attack stat. Okay.
Not power. I said attack, not power. I was trying to be specific there.
Yep.
So yeah, no. Here's the thing that I feel like really does not seem to get. It's not necessarily the Pokemon. It is the moves, which does factor into what makes a Pokemon good. However, she's attributing it specifically because, oh yeah, it's because Gardevoir's so good. It's not like, oh yeah, Alakazam can't do this either. Alakazam would be hitting harder, and probably would have survived that as well. Alakazam doesn't have that much worse stats than, defense stat than Gardevoir does.
Yep. Now, technically, she's trying to attribute the fact that Gardevoir has this in her repertoire, but yeah, again, many Pokemon could do that.
Alakazam could do this. And it has Recover on top of that.
Nice.
So even with the argument of like, oh yeah, this could take specials, Alakazam could take specials indefinitely.
Sorry, I heard Recover and remembered the Eon Duo. I don't think you get them in Emerald, but if you do, I am honestly concerned.
You get
Rolling
one.
Hoenn.
You get one.
Yeah,
only.
if this...
And then you need the Eon ticket for the other.
Yeah, if it says roaming, I think that means it might be post-game. I don't know.
It's post-game. I remember catching
Alright.
mine specifically. It's post-game.
Okay, good. That means we don't get to see it become immediately deceased because she can't be bothered to catch Pokemon other than her absolute favorites.
Yep. Latios live! They live!
I'm not kidding, this is the single most broken Pokemon in the main game that has largely gone unfixed because most people just don't bother to find out that this is such a problem. One Pokemon should not be breaking the game that much. Anyway, I got the...
There's literal challenges like this!
Yeah.
Gardevoir is not special! Again, a lot of arguments you can make for Gardevoir you can make to Alakazam, and Alakazam could do it better. There's a reason why Gardevoir was not favored and competitive, while Alakazam still was. Alakazam was also used because of the physical special split not existing in Gen 3, giving it the elemental punches that gave it diversity that Gardevoir just fucking lacks. I'm sorry, but Gardevoir is just a shittier Alakazam in Gen 3. I am sorry for you to hear this, but this is the truth.
Yeah, I don't know if I would personally say Gardevoir is a worse Alakazam, because beyond certain points, the fragility and physicality in both of them, and actually, well, no, Alakazam does technically have some stats special defense. Point is, the fragility of Alakazam can easily bite it in the ass, like, just without hesitation, without proper strategy, like Reflect. But this also requires trusting Reflect, because it only howls damage. It can't always eliminate true, like, really powerful damage.
I know, but at the same time, though, Gardevoir will barely be able to survive that. And here's also the counter-argument. If you set up properly with Alakazam, Alakazam has incredibly fast speed. It won't even need to survive a hit if it can just KO the opponent in one move. Which is what she saw all done with Gardevoir. If that was Alakazam in that case, with the Reflect up, the Reflect probably didn't even matter, because Alakazam probably would have just have one-shotted the Garchomp anyway.
Yeah.
Like, that's what I mean by it's just a shittier Alakazam, because if you can outspeed, then that doesn't gonna matter. And if Gardevoir can't take more than one hit, if it can take one hit, sure, but then if it has to take another hit and it doesn't have the speed to outmatch it, it's just going to die.
Yeah.
like, I'm sorry. I love Alakazam. I love Gardevoir. I prefer Gardevoir over Alakazam. But if I have to choose one for Gen 3 competitive, Alakazam 100% of the time. Gardevoir just does nothing special for it. I'm sorry.
You're good.
Balance badge. That's fucking hilarious given what I did to get it. After that, a strange man asked me to follow him into his house, and it turns out to be Wally's father, who heard Wally ran away and wants to thank me for inspiring him to do that. Wow, way to tell me you hate your kid, bro.
That's not what he says!
Uh,
You really don't read the dialogue! Like, I can't even say, oh, she's misrepresenting it just to be funny. No! By saying it like this, you are completely undermining the journey! Because
honestly, I'm surprised.
Go ahead.
I'm surprised she's reading it all, since we already confirmed that she's basically trying to get started the game to the credits as succinctly as possible.
I'm gonna make Wally the fucking thumbnail for this one, aren't I? God damn it.
Ironically, she's said nothing but positive stuff about Wally thus far.
Yes, she has! And that's the worst part about it.
Did I miss it? I'm sorry.
She says she likes Wally to that she inspired him to fucking run away, as we just heard. How much the catcher tutorial works due to you helping teach Wally how to catch Pokemon, like that type of shit. She has only said either neutral or good things about Wally to this point.
That's what I'm trying to say. That's not exactly a major complaint point. So currently the issue is, I don't know, it's kind of all collaging together at this point. There's not any single thing that's yet stood out as, oh my god, you're detestable for that. Well, actually, I forgot, this is the one with Gardevoir. We just put Gardevoir in the thumbnail. And I think anyone will make sense of that.
Yeah, but I kind of want to save that if I don't have anything good. And besides, trust me, there's going to be a take later that you're going to rage about.
Alrighty then.
Gives me surface thanks. Hooray! Now I can cross that tiny river behind which lies the rest of the game. So the routes between here and Fortree are interesting because it's mostly a trek through a tropical grassland filled with rivers and tall cliffs. This half of the game is more centered around water, so even the land routes involve a lot of it, and visually it's very interesting. Lots of changing terrain and winding routes and multiple linear paths depending on what bike you have. And I actually forgot how to get over these things. I had to look it up. I like this aspect of Gen 3. It's simple, but it does feel like I'm on an adventure through dangerous landscapes, just a little bit. I feel like Pokemon really should.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, like, the acro bike isn't that hard. Why did you have to look up how to use the acro bike?
Because, I'll be honest, it's actually kind of easy to forget it has a jump feature.
Yeah,
Like, if you
I
don't
guess,
know about the
but-
jump feature, you would not think to do it.
But I mean, it's pretty visually saying hop, hop, hop with the veils. So why wouldn't you just try doing some sort of hops?
I don't know. It's Lily.
Yeah. It's
Sort of
like, sure,
evolved
it's not the best readability in the game, but there's some readability going on here. There's some visual tell as to what you're supposed to be doing. The fact you had to look it up rather than trying to use internal resources or whatever, or just plain remember what you were told.
Yeah.
on an adventure through dangerous landscapes, just a little bit. I feel like Pokemon really should have evolved this 2D look rather than getting progressively more 3D with each generation. I then found Team Aqua.
I disagree with that. And this is someone that prefers the 2D sprites over all the 3D shit of modern day, but I actually hard disagree with that. Because you want to add more detail, you want to add more depth to the game. Trying to keep it...
Yes.
Like...
2D look rather than getting progressive.
Like, trying to keep it, like, in the first two gens, that's just gonna make it be boring and outdated incredibly fast. Hell, out of this one, Unova looks like the best.
Yeah.
Like, I'm sorry.
Also, this Spender's adorable.
Also, look at that water. I might prefer the
Nice.
Pokemon Brilliant Diamond, not Brilliant Diamond, Pokemon Gen 4 water, but that is nice looking water compared to the rest of the shit.
Yeah, I'm just distracted. I think it's a really cute render. Everyone has following Pokemon, a feature we probably should have had in every generation, but he's just so cute. Look at them all.
Yeah, no, this is a really... If anything, this is a good mashup.
I'm distracted. It's adorable.
I'll be honest. I don't want to give Lily credit, but this is actually really well made. Fuck you, Lily.
Did
I'm
she
giving
make
you this one. I don't know, but this is really good on either way.
Yeah, I think
if
somebody
she
else would have made this. I don't think she got that in her.
If she did plagiarize this, fuck you, but you know what? Fair enough. Like,
It's not plagiarism. That's just getting an image off the internet.
Massively more
People
3D
grab fan
with
art
each
all the time.
fair.
generation. I then found Team Aqua at the Weather Institute, who are looking for... Actually, what are they looking for? I can't remember. I crushed them because it's just tradition at this point. A little while later, I ran into Brendan, and he challenged me to a fight, which I won, naturally, and he gave me the HM for Fly. Well, that's nice. Tell McKay I said hi. Arriving in Fortree City, I bothered some of the locals. Why are you living in a treehouse? Are you 8? Give me a TM or I'm going to bully you. Woo! Mugging people works! Anyway, the gym is blocked off because something is in the way and I have to go out of the city and onto the route to find Steven, who will tell me, oh yeah, that's a Kecleon. Nasty little bastards. Use this scope to find them. Hooray! The gym is open. Fortree Gym is a flying type gym that uses these rotating walls as its puzzle. You need to maneuver yourself in a way so that you can move the walls the way you want them to open the way to Winona. It's not bad. It requires a little bit of thinking. Really good for the kids, honestly. The fight with Winona was really no big deal. Her team is all flying, so Shockwave handles most of them, and Psychic took care of both Tropius and Altaria. Like I said, G is pretty busted. The next stop on our
I will say this, nothing about the battle itself, but this is the only gym that the game actually checks for. Because you
Really?
have to, yeah, because this is the only gym you have to go out of your way to not complete. Every other gym either requires an HM for a previous badge, or I'm trying to remember, or it's what unlocks like the route to the Elite Four. I don't remember. No, doesn't the 8th one give you waterfall?
I don't remember with this generation.
I don't remember. But point is, either you have to use an HM that is tied to a badge to get to the gyms, or to get through to the Elite Four. Or yeah, so because of that one, like, you'd either cut TM in order to get to this gym, in order to get you, like, self or whatever, in order to go and get to this gym, yada yada yada. So those are already checks for each other if you have the badge for it or not. So whenever you go to the badge check, it only has program to say that you don't have Winona, I forget her name, I already forgot the gym leader's name. Winona. For Winona's badge, because that's the only badge that you could get to the Elite Four and not have. Because it doesn't give you if I recall, it doesn't give you an HM for it. Or if it does, it's only Fly, and Fly is not required to beat the game.
Yeah. Fair, yeah.
So yeah, just a bit of fun fact for you.
Mm-hmm.
journey is Mount Pyre because we overheard Team Aqua saying that they were chasing Team Magma there. Now, Mount Pyre is weird. It's another Ghost and Psychic dungeon, and at the end you can get a Shadow Ball TM, which is neat, but it's a completely optional dungeon that you don't actually have to do. There's a hallway to the left that takes you right to the peak of Mount Pyre where you actually need to go, which is a shame, because I feel like Mount Pyre could have been a really cool dungeon, but since it was made optional, it no longer matters and is just a few floors with trainers to fight. So instead we take...
Yes, it does! What?
Yeah, Mount Pyre matters for the Team Magma Aqua encounter, and there's some decent Pokemon there, I'll say that much.
She's talking specifically about the dungeon aspect of it, since you can basically skip it.
You can?
Apparently!
I didn't know it was skippable.
I might have to check into that, but... like, that also doesn't fucking matter if it is optional or not. Go through it! Experience the game, you...
To all people
shortcut
watching,
to the peak.
if you're going to make a retrospective, it is in your best interest to experience the game as much as possible. And, well, yes, sometimes you can rely on previous experiences. It's really best to cover the game as much as you possibly can. Going starts to credits is not healthy for a retrospective.
I'm just gonna go say this, because I am tired already, boss. I'm already tired. But no, it's like, just because it's optional doesn't mean you can't play it. It's there! Just experience it. I don't care if you're doing retrospective or not. It is there to be played. It's not.
Play with your toys, kids.
Seriously, it's like seeing the fucking Pokemon, what was it? The Pokemon Studio in Black and White 2 and never bothering to check it out.
That is my bad.
Yeah, no, that
Anyways.
was a shot at Strawb. I mean it in good faith. I'm just.
It's all good. Trust me, it's my loss for not actually exploring that. I had no idea it was such a detailed thing. Anyways,
it's big.
not to dive into that because we have to get to that later. But
Yeah.
I was reminded of something pretty bad because this is the generation which had the remake in Generation 6, where we got that delightful little message from the director that basically translated to, I don't have faith in people playing towards the end or post game of our games because they would rather just finish the game and get back to their mobile games. I'm
Oh my
deeply
God,
paraphrasing, but
he was talking about Lily the whole time.
I know.
Lily, this is your legacy now.
Lily, you made sure that late Pokemon games wouldn't have a post game. Are you happy yet?
This is all your fault.
Also, sorry, for someone who enjoys Pokemon's how she does, you think she would enjoy experiencing the game as much as possible and trying to treat it as your own story. Apparently not. Apparently the game is truly just a means to the end, and she'd rather just imagine things without the game getting in the way.
Which, there's nothing necessarily wrong with that. Keyword being necessarily.
If you want to creep about it.
Yep. But it's like, if you're trying to do something professional, you have to be professional about it. Like, 'cause you can't be skipping the shit. You can't. Because hell, maybe for all you know, you could find something super rare and secret that actually make your Pokemon so much stronger.
Here's a good question. Does Lily actually like Pokemon?
The answer is no.
Yeah.
At this point, I am convinced that answer is a no. Cause it's like the thing with Harry Potter. You like the idea of the world, not necessarily the world itself.
Yeah. I wish that wasn't true, but honestly, in terms of the plot of the story of Harry Potter, it's not as bad politically as the writer is, but it is certainly the world of someone who is way too cynical for their own good.
Hell, nothing even changes in it. Everything reverts back to the same.
Yeah.
I wish I was joking. Like, when you actually look at Harry Potter, it's kind of messed up.
We could do that a different time.
Yeah, no,
That'd
this
be
is
an
not a
interesting thing.
Pokemon retrospective.
Yeah, I don't know enough about the books of Harry Potter, but it's still an interesting series to talk about. Anyway, sorry. We are way off topic.
Yeah, sorry.
We take the shortcut to the peak, run along the cliffs, and then reach a gauntlet of aqua grunts that is definitely not the same gauntlet from Generation 1. This is completely different because at the end they challenge you to a double battle. Ooh. And at the end, Archie goes, yeah.
Let the reference Gen 1. I know we have too much of it already, but this was before Gen 1 became overexposed.
And, how in the world is this an issue? They're giving you a fun gauntlet of trainer battles, they're giving a cool reference, and the grunts are trying to do everything in their power to make sure that their team leader doesn't get interrupted by a stupid kid.
Hell, this is literally... Okay, they're literally just stopping you from foiling their plans.
Mm-hmm.
Like...
This is actually more strategic than most other team bases in just the games in general. This is straight up just, we're gonna form a wall of trainers to stop you.
Literally, this could be a really cool moment if you want to take, mental, exercise, and just imagine your Pokemon, all four wanting to fight you at the same time, like in that one battle in Oras.
Yeah.
And then you have to fight through all of them to finally reach the leader. And it's just,
Yep.
Like,
end, they
I don't
challenge you
understand.
to a double battle. Ooh. And at the end, Archie goes, now I can bring my plans to fruition. What are your plans? Or would you like to know? And he vanishes.
Why is he papyrus?
Because she's not reading the actual story.
So I would have gone for more like, yeah, matey. I have a. I don't know how to pirate talk. But if you gave me time, if I fucking scripted it like I assume Lily did, then I would have had a pirate speak for the joke.
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes I sit there and stare at that spot, wondering where he went. Where did you go, gay pirate man? Then the old lady tells me that the blue orb and red orb belong together and can't be separated, and tells me to go please bring them back so they can be orb wives in peace, and gives me a key to the magma hideout to do it. And honestly, reuniting a pair of inanimate lesbians is the single greatest mission a child could be given. Don't worry, old lady, I'll bring them back, I swear. Right after
Why are we assuming the lesbians? Why can't they just be gay?
I don't know.
I mean, there's two together, so we can assume that they're both
I do some shopping. So I run into Brendan in front of the Lily Cove Mall, who insists he's not buying any dolls, and honestly, I didn't suspect he was buying dolls at first, but now that he went out of his way to deny it, he's definitely buying dolls. Make sure you buy one for your girlfriend, and one for your girlfriend's wife. Give me a plushie, Brendan. Okay, he decided to fight me instead, and when he loses, he can't take it and says he's going home to Little Root. I just humiliated him so badly that he gave up. Seriously, Poet, you don't deserve this shit you're getting from me. Getting back to my mission.
Or maybe he's tired and wants to return home. People do get homesick. Like, for all we know, he is staring at the dolls because one of it reminds him of home. Maybe there's like a zigzag goon that reminded him of the one that chased his father.
To reunite the Orb Wives takes me to Mount Chimney, where Team Magma is hiding, which is a much more fitting hideout than the one they have in Ruby and Submissive Ruby. They are hidden deep inside a volcano that's almost maze-like. It's actually pretty cool, but it seems there's no—
Did you say submissive Ruby? Is it because it's called Omega?
Oh dear God, let's try not to get into that.
Lily, this is a kid's game.
no air conditioning in there because several of the grunts complained about being hot, and even one regrets not joining Team Aqua. But as you get closer to Maxie, oh boy, are the magma grunts just tucked into every little nook and cranny. I fucking love it, she said sarcastically. Yes, I do want to fight your 50th Zubat, sir. I make it to Maxie and he uses the blue orb to control Groudon, only for Groudon to rocket into the sky. As you do. And Maxie's just completely flummoxed. Like, he's genuinely confused as to what just happened. Not only did the blue orb not work, but this creature of the land just took off into the sky as if repelled from the orb, and then he blames me for it. Like, sir, I am a 10-year-old girl. I cannot lift that dinosaur. Please calm your fabulous tits. Well, he—
No, because you see, Groudon got so offended that it was in a Lily video that he decided to escape from it.
Yeah, also don't fabulize his tits. He doesn't have any.
Yeah. Also, I will say, if I recall, this doesn't matter, but in Orvas, I believe Groudon sinks? Actually, I think this is a completely different location. I have not played Omega Ruby or Alpha Sapphire in so long.
Yeah, I don't remember either. I don't know how much it matters.
It doesn't matter at all, let's be honest.
He wants to fight, and I slap him down because that's just how this goes at this point, and then he's willing to listen when I say there's a reason that Groudon left and then leaves to go chase after it. Very productive conversation, Maxie. Returning to Slayport, it turns out that Captain Stern is finished with his submarine project that he intends to use to explore the ocean, so it's a good thing we brought those Devon goods to him. Good job, Stern. I'm very proud of— and Team Aqua stole it. I don't even know how they got in there. I'm almost impressed. But unfortunately for them, I know exactly where their hideout is. It's in the city that's crawling with aqua grunts. Seriously, you could not be any less conspicuous if you tried. Where the magma hideout was a mess of navigating tunnels, the aqua hideout is more high-tech, with teleporter pads all over the place. So I'm getting Silphco flashbacks, and I don't like it. No wonder people hate working for you. One gang works in a sweltering volcano base, the other gang just turned their base into a maze for sheer sadistic thrill. Because Team Aqua's Pokemon are all water, dark, and flying, Sceptile and G can wreck this place like nobody's business. I actually taught G Thunderbolt just for this. I eventually make it to the bay and have to fight Matt, who's just rocking the shirtless look today. Good for you, Matt. Mastectomy scars are nothing to be ashamed of. Be yourself. I'm gonna crush you, though, so, like, square the fuck up. But it turns out that he was just stalling for time so Archie could finish preparing the submarine. Clever boy, Matt. With myself thoroughly humbled, I left the Aqua Base in search of Archie, and here starts the dreaded sea routes. Okay, so the entire latter half of the game's story takes place on the ocean. Given the importance placed on the balance of land and sea, half the game taking place on the sea isn't necessarily a bad idea. Exploring the ocean is cool. People like doing it. Wind Waker is nothing but that, and it's fucking great. The problem is the fact that the gameplay of the sea routes is unchanged. Sea routes are, in my opinion, the most underutilized aspect of the Pokemon games. There's so many cool things you could do with it if you wanted to for comparatively little effort. Make wayfinding a mechanic to figure out where you're going, give you interesting places to explore, little islands and coral reefs, have interesting things in the ocean to find. But in Pokemon, sea routes are just roads filled with wild Pokemon and trainers, and they're places where the wild Pokemon infest every tile. On land routes, wild Pokemon are only found in tall grass, and the tall grass is used to detail the environments as well. But the rest of the route is relatively safe. But sea routes are like caves where you get harassed on every single damn tile. They're also visually very boring. There's water, there's rocks, sometimes there's dirt, that's it. The only thing Hoenn added was the ability to dive, which should be really cool, but in practice, diving just takes you to a canyon that is just more rock. Sometimes there's a little foliage, but otherwise it's just another path that you find a few other Pokemon in. Can you imagine being a dev on this game, having the entire theme of land and sea drilled into your head, and not making the sea routes anything close to as interesting as the land routes? And what's even worse is that despite the entire Pokemon fanbase complaining about this, from the moment these games came out, when IGN made the same complaint about the remakes, people got mad at them for bringing it up. Like, they were the target of mockery for too much water. Like, assholes, you were complaining about this shit for a decade and they still haven't fucking fixed it. Instead, they wasted their time making an entire post-game story where you get ranted to about ham-fisted philosophy by crappy characters and then catch another few useless legendary. It's so fucking ridiculous that they can't get half their gameplay loop right, even after oh hey, we're here. So before I
Is so much wrong with this. Oh my fucking god.
Okay, I want to be on premise that I do dislike the second half of Hoenn. For some of these complaints, I do not like surfing over long seas. However, it's also, probably the longest we've ever had in the Pokemon series. It's not the worst thing to exist, and it doesn't have the fucking tiles that move you like you do in Unova.
Actually, wait, no, I thought the lower route, which is technically a bit more optional, had a water jet section.
Does it?
Not water jet, currents.
It does.
Yeah, I know it does in Noras at least.
It does. I just remembered it.
And even so, that's a really fun little puzzle with again, something that's doing with water. We'll get back to that. You do your part. I want to have the mic in a moment.
Seafaring. Seafaring in Pokemon is an incredibly terrible idea. Don't ever do it. Because the problem is with seafaring, how would that work? You have to look up and see the sky in order to understand, like, where you're going. Okay, that's fine, I guess. But the thing is, the examples of where you are going on the fucking sea. Wind Waker. Wind Waker's whole mechanic is, well, not a whole mechanic, but the whole point of it is to seafare. And I am the guy that would just, as a kid, that would just boot up Wind Waker and just do nothing but sailing. Because checking the map, seeing where I am, and see where I could go, was fun for me. That would do nothing in a Pokemon game, though, because it has to follow. So you're asking to go add a completely whole different game in your game just for the second half of it that, honestly, doesn't even take up that much actual space. The thing is, you're already like 6 badges in. You're already done with most of the game. It's only the last quarter that's really nothing but fucking sea. And diving, okay, I'll admit, the diving could look a bit better. And again, I don't like this aspect of it, and I'm defending it because it's not being explained in good faith.
Yeah.
Also, there's unique Pokemon you can find down there. You can find hidden caves down there. I don't like it, but I admit that they are there, and that's what they are meant. My drink's already empty. I need to get a new one.
All right. Well, while you do that or don't, firstly and foremostly, to preface anything I'm about to say, repels exist and are meant to be used. They are not so auxiliary that they're meant to sit in your bag forever. You can challenge yourself not to use them, but ultimately repels are part of the game for a reason. Anyways, as we was trying to say, you can't just ask Pokemon to add an entire other gimmick or just gameplay part to a game where, again, Surf behaves as it does because it's an extension of the existing engine. You're asking them to add an auxiliary engine for just surfing and only surfing at open sea. Additionally, it would be incredibly more tedious to wayfare on the ocean than it would be to just wander around aimlessly, because then you have to keep checking the map. You have to keep making sense of the way you are going. A lot of things. And well, yes, this can be fun in a game centered around it. In Pokemon, not so much. One thing about Wind Waker, for example, is that you don't have random encounters. You do have some encounters you can find on the sea, but they are not random. They are part of the environment, and you can try to avoid them if they're a little too scary for you. So, yeah, trying to add wayfaring just because there's an ocean doesn't work. But complaining that the ocean has nothing while showing footage of an archipelago and then diving undersea to explore the undersea depths is basically showing the exact thing you're saying isn't there. Hoenn actually went out of its way to give a lot of gimmicks that can only be done with the ocean. Little archipelagos where it's interesting to dig about the sand for little items. Bunch of trainers exploring at sea and going on sea, not triathlons, but sea marathons, well, swimming marathons. The depths of the ocean and the Pokemon you can only find there, and even exploring undersea caves, one of which is the actual undersea cave where the important Pokemon is. Using diving to get into an entire town because it's otherwise landlocked by a giant wall of mountains.
Because,
And
fun fact, that's where Meteor landed.
Yeah, it itself is a crater, which is crazy. There's so much happening in the sea that you're saying there's nothing much happening because, well, yes, there are these features. It's also a lot of just plain surfing, but there's not much they can do about that. They would have to upheave the entire surfing system, starting at Gen 3 on a game that doesn't have a lot of storage space to mess around with it. It is what it is at the end of the day.
Oh, so I will say this. I do despise when people are like, they could add this, they could add that, and not really explain how. It's like, oh, they could add seafaring. How? How would you implement it? 2, how much storage will that take? 3, how would you encounter Pokemon? Because that is actually very important. That is honestly more important to be able to encounter Pokemon than seafaring itself is.
Mm-hmm.
Because, again, at the end of the day, everything exists literally to just catch Pokemon. The whole thesis of Pokemon is catch them all. If you can't catch them all, then it's not Pokemon. And that is a criticism I still have of modern Pokemon. And yet I still understand why it had to be. Pokemon is just too big.
It would be interesting if they tried to implement a grass-like effect to the top of the ocean, but this would be hard to find a good way to make it look that seems realistic to the world. Maybe splashing water, but that wouldn't be able to have a patch of splashing water. That'd be a single tile. So you'd kind of just avoid it and move on.
But
So it's not an easy way to... Yes?
But there is something like that, because when you see bubbles, and I know this was an Emerald, if you see like bubbles on the ocean, you can go over there and fish in that spot for a guaranteed Pokemon. At least that's how it was in later games.
Oh, nice.
So like there is unique stuff you can do. I believe that's an Emerald. I can't confirm that at the moment.
Yeah, I have no clue.
But it's just... Again,
Yeah.
I hate how this part of the game is. I understand it, and there is some fun with it, because I believe, if I recall, you can actually explore an abandoned, a sunken ship. If I recall.
Yeah, that's the lower half of the water
Yeah,
before the jetting thing.
and that is really cool.
Any,
And that is really cool.
anyways, honestly, so first, actually, one thing I do remember as the points that I was trying to keep in my head, I wasn't there for any of the complaints, and I honestly don't remember people largely complaining about the oceans of Hoenn. Just in general, when IGN came out and said too much water, it really did feel out of left field that they were having such an issue with it.
Yeah. I don't know. I was also
Yes.
not there, but I also
Yeah.
don't trust Lily's personal
Yeah.
antidote, let's just say.
Yeah, I still have one last thing to say. Personally, the only thing that bugs me about the oceans of Hoenn is what bugs me about the oceans in pretty much any game. The Pokemon you encounter there are usually Tentacool, Tentacruel, and Pelipper. Yeah, I think that's the evolved one. Anyways, Pokemon like these, while cool, are ultimately neutral to grass, which is a starter you can pick, and are only really weak to electric, which you have to go out of your way to find, and I personally am not always a fan of electric due to how little type interaction it has outside of, well, water and flying. So it's not always something I'm thrilled to pick up, but is something that ultimately makes the ocean kind of easy to deal with, but only that. That's really my only issue with it.
I'm sorry. It was just telling that we just let her talk and talk and talk, and I have to go back through like 3 separate points, all of the ocean suck.
Yeah, it hit me like a freight train, man. I did not expect this much wrongness in a row.
Okay,
To chase after Aqua, I need the badge from Moss Deep's gym before I'm allowed to dive underwater. Kinda like how I needed to beat the instructor at a game of Hearthstone to get my firearms license. Tate and Liza's gym is filled with rotational puzzles. You have to hit the right pads to make things rotate to make a path to the next objective. It's not bad, but it has the lava ridge problem where you always think you might be able to worm your way around the gym trainers, but you just can't. On the plus side, the design of the gym actively discourages backtracking to the Pokemon Center, which is neat. I always feel the gym is ruined when you make me do that. Tate and Liza are the token double battle among the gym leaders, and all their Pokemon are psychic, but most of them are rock and ground as well, so Sceptile's got this, and G can take care of Xatu. And G can trace levitate, which means Claydol's cheeky little earthquakes aren't a problem. Then come out their signature Pokemon, Lunatone and Solrock. At first, things are going well, but then Solrock gets off a sunny day, and Lunatone starts to stack those calm mines. Hey, that's my cheap strategy, you lunar bitch. But it's alright, Larian's
Calm Mind is not that cheap.
got this.
We cover this.
See?
Oh damn. That didn't even apply! That was physical! Lunatone would have survived that with or without Calm Mind.
Yeah, that's just taking advantage of the type advantage, the physical weakness, all that. It's strategic, but not relevant to Calm Mind.
Oh, crap.
Okay, now that's where Calm Mind actually doing something. Sorry.
Oh, crap. Well, I don't have any physical attackers left, so I guess we're stuck chipping away at Lunatone's health and maybe confusing them.
Why not?
Okay, you are officially on my shit list. I just decided to fight fire with fire and
Okay,
start raising my
we'll
own
check your
stats to
team
put us
after
on
this.
equal footing, praying Lunatone didn't knock me out in the process. See what I mean? Calm Mind is broken as fuck.
See what I mean? She's
You know, I'm starting to
constantly...
think this is
Sorry, pause it. See what I mean? She's constantly complaining only when she is losing. Only when she loses is it ever a problem with the gym leader. Otherwise, it's perfectly fine and not worth talking about. So, I don't even know what to make sense of that. That's just saltiness.
Oh, so I would say this. The only reason why this is a problem is because your Sceptile. Is Sceptile a physical or special attacker?
Mixed, actually. That's kind of the problem.
Oh.
Yeah, Sceptile has, I believe, good attack and special attack, but good in air quotes because it's kind of mediocre in both
Like
regards. 80? No, it can't be that bad, right? Let me
No,
pull it up.
Sceptile is 85 attack, 105 special attack.
Oh, my bad. It's not mixed. It's biased, actually.
Yeah,
I don't quite know what the official term. Yeah, I don't know what the term for that is officially, but yeah, it's still not good. Because what do you say special attack was again?
105.
Yeah, that's very much like only scratching above the bare minimum of a relevant stat.
Speed, if I recall, the reason why you want to use Sceptile is because you want what grass can offer, but just fast. You don't like the slowness
Yes.
of grass types. So that's the reason why you
Yeah,
wanted
actually,
it. And I'll be honest, I thought Sceptile was physical for a while.
it's because Leaf Blade, which, by the way, Leaf Blade was only physical after the physical special split because it was a grass type move, which is why they have higher special attack. Anyways, but thematically, Leaf Blade was trying to be a physical, cool sword move because they have arm blades. Anyways, what was I trying to say? Oh, yes.
The arm blades is probably why I thought it was more physical than special.
Yeah, same here. But preface, I do think Sceptile is fine for in gameplay. It's just that people usually complain about him on a competitive level because, well, these stats are lacking in a competitive sense. There's still enough to make a difference, but not enough to go the distance.
So yeah, we definitely should look over at her team after this. Why?
Yeah, so far we have Sceptile, Gardevoir, Ninetales,
Let me just.
Larian. Actually, yeah, wait, she posted at the start of the video.
Okay, so about an hour and 12 minutes in.
Hour 12, got it.
One. And it's telling that this was not something they would ever repeat.
So let's see. Flygon, Agron.
Oh, yeah.
I always forget which
Oh,
one
yeah, the
Flygon
Corphish.
is.
What?
I don't remember stats off the top of my head. Okay, yeah. Physical.
Oh, actually, we were just looking this up because of different friend playing X and Y. Flygon is 100 attack, 80 in everything else, and then 100 in speed, if I remember right. Let me pull it up again.
Yeah, I just did. Okay, yeah. So her physical attack goes Agron, Flygon, and Crawdont. That's how you say it.
Yeah, because he's daunting.
So she had 3 physicals and she lost all of them? Really? Goddamn.
Yeah, huh. And Crawdont is a water type. What?
Yeah, wait a minute. Why did you not save it as your plan B? Was it just too slow and got one-shotted?
And okay, well, technically Flygon wouldn't be able to help here because of Levitate, which I believe both Solrock and Lunatone have Levitate to bypass the rock issue, and the fact that they are floating psychic rocks. Let me pull it up. Lunatone. So technically Flygon wouldn't, Levitate wouldn't have helped here so much, but
yeah, but Flygon should have a coverage that could at least hit.
Yeah, and even if they have like any sort of Dragon type move, I believe Dragon types are still physical in this generation, which would have helped a lot.
Yeah, would have helped gone around the Calm Mind at least.
Yeah.
Oh no, Dragon Special. Dragon Special.
I want to say skill issue, but at this point it's becoming a feat of nature.
Oh god.
On equal footing, praying Lunatone didn't knock me out in the process. See what I mean? Calm Mind is broken as fuck. You know, I'm starting to think this is personal. It's okay, I got them eventually. Our combination was shattered. All your Pokemon went...
Calm Mind is overpowered if you only have special focused Pokemon in your team, which apparently you don't even, but somehow you let your physical guys die by some miracle, frankly. Like, sure, yes, it's boosting special attack, which is boosting the damage you deal, but so many moves can do that. You can find your own moves that do that. You can also find defensive moves that counter it, like Amnesia.
Amnesia is really good.
Yeah.
It was fucking broken in Gen 1, because it raised your special stat. You just get a +2 in your special attack and defense at once.
You know, I feel like Wolfie VGC would really get along with Lily, because they're both really good at hyperfixating on something that isn't overpowered, but pretending that it is overpowered, despite all of the facts and evidence that no, it's not that powerful.
Jesus, man.
I'm starting to think this is personal. It's okay, I got them eventually. Our combination was shattered. All your Pokemon went down like chumps. It was just Lunatone that survived. What kind of trainer relies on one single Pokemon to carry the entire... Anyway, we're off to chase Team Aqua to the bottom of the ocean. We're off to the Space Center to stop Team Magma from robbing the place of its rocket. What? You're on this again? You're still trying to make the volcano erupt? You already awoke a giant Pokemon. You're back on this? Well, taking control of the Earth itself didn't work. We should go back to the drawing board. I really feel like we were getting somewhere with that volcano thing. This is actually really interesting because Team Magma failed to take control of Groudon and then just said, Well, I guess we're gonna move on to our next goal. Like, they've completely given up on the legendary Pokemon. I almost admire that. The evil teams these days are so tied to the legendaries that the idea that they could fail and just move on to the next plan is almost inconceivable. This is...
That's because the plans don't necessarily require... Okay, here's the thing with Team Aqua and Team Magma. The plans technically don't require the legendary Pokemon. It helps a lot if they did have them, but it technically doesn't require it. Hell, Max's first plan was to erupt the volcano using a meteorite. Groundhog was the backup plan. Cyrus needs Dialga and Palkia to create his new world. Ghetsis technically doesn't need the legendaries for it, but he wants to manipulate N into believing he is savior of all Pokemon kind in order to subjugate the humans, essentially. To subjugate other trainers and have Ghetsis be in power.
He tried to make him Pokemon Jesus. Oh my god.
Yeah. Genuinely, yeah. Let's see.
I'm level Jesus.
I forget who... Hell, Lucivine doesn't even want the legendary Pokemon in it. She wants the Ultra Beasts.
Mm-hmm.
And
Which, technically, same difference, but anyways.
And Lysander is really only using the legendary Pokemon as a fuel source.
Yep.
And it's like...
Technically, okay, to give a smidgen of credit, the complaint is that they are able... that Team Aqua and Magma are technically moving on from their original plans, but so they're being more flexible. So, technically, the other... like, to have some sort of camaraderie, it would be that they need to have some sort of plan that isn't really requiring any sort of MacGuffin, and they have good backups. But again, it's I don't know. The point is, it's not a bad thing to have to rely on the legendary Pokemon. They're super powerful and can do things nothing else really can.
Oh, but legendaries are useless. Lily said that herself earlier in this video.
Well, we know Lily's wrong.
But no, but that's what I mean though. It's like Team Aqua and Magma are really the only ones, I guess also Team Rocket, are the only ones that don't need a legendary to fulfill their goals. Everyone else kinda does.
Yep. It is impressive that they somehow magically don't need the legendaries to do something as crazy as expand the land mass or water mass. That's extreme terraforming that somehow they're able to just do with a volcano, I guess.
To be fair, when a volcano erupts, it does expand the landmass.
True. Then what about the water side of things? How are you going to more water the water?
That one I don't know, because I actually never played Sapphire.
Actually, here's a good question. How were they going to more water the water? Like, the whole idea is get Kyogre. He's going to more water the water, but that's not how water works in this world. Any sort of storm is caused by evaporation, drawing water from the ocean and bringing it towards land to rain down again. If there's any rain, it comes from the already existing ocean. This implies that Kyogre is somehow magically creating matter.
To be fair, maybe Kyogre's real plan is to summon a fucking comet to hit the ocean and melt.
Actually, I realized what I was saying as I was saying it. Technically, you could say that Pokemon do generate matter in the sense that there's no way that a Squirtle is holding enough water to functionally use Water Gun without also dehydrating himself in seconds. So there's that potentially, and then that's just Pokemon using magic.
Yeah.
But then that also means that Pokemon are necessary for the magic usage.
Point is that they are all craze fanatics that have ideals that are probably not even realistic.
Yeah.
Because don't forget, we never really see them win. It's implied that they win with the Rainbow Rocket side quest that Lily will never bother with. Because when you're facing them, you're facing all the people that won. You're facing all the evil team that won.
I'm just imagining that Team Aqua just watches their plan not work because that's not how physics work. So just grab Kyogre and beat everyone to a pulp instead.
That is hilarious.
It's I, John President of the Pokemon world. Eat whale, bitch!
actually kinda neat. It isn't until after you beat them that they start to think that maybe they're barking up the wrong tree and decide to investigate the matter. I'll have more to say about this later on, but suffice to say, I think Team Aqua and Magma have aged a lot better than most evil teams. Anyway, now that I've got the proper form signed in triplicate to the Moss Deep Gym, I now have license to dive underwater because the Pokemon Leaguers
Did you not check that rock? That was a very suspicious looking rock.
proper form signed.
That rock.
Oh.
That's a
I don't know what that rock do.
That is a very suspicious rock, but I saw that and my first thought was hidden item.
True.
Cause like that is not on the usual tile set. It's not spammed around like other like fillers, like trees and shit. Like that is out.
Interesting.
Signed in triplicate to the Moss Deep Gym, I now
things
have
to
license
test
to
and
dive
emeralds.
underwater because the Pokemon
But
Leaguers
you're
are
able
like
to float
Vogons
over
apparently.
it, so...
Yeah, it doesn't mean you can't check it.
Yeah, fair enough.
Like it's just a tile set. It could still be a tile set that's used to hide an item. Like that's what I'm saying. I saw that and my first thought was hidden item. Just hidden items are on the ground, not necessarily. Well, it's on a tile, not necessarily a thing you can't walk through.
True.
Chasing after a sailor who was obsessed with getting his whale, I plowed my way through the aqua grunts and then got there before Archie somehow. What, did you stop for a pretzel? And did you give me one? Sadly, the power of the red orb only made Kyogre hunger for the flesh of her brother, and Archie is left holding the literal idiot ball. Maxie comes by and tells Archie—
Wait, you just said brother! Why did you say the orbs are lesbians?
I don't know.
Like, I know this is not a big thing, so I'm not going to say much about it, but it's like, wait, you just went to say the orbs are lesbians, and now you're saying waking up brothers. Would that not... I guess the orbs could have a different gender than the brothers, but I guess... I'm thinking too much into this. I will say this. The reason why I'm thinking of this one is because, to me, Lily is too lesbian-brained because she herself is lesbian. And therefore, she makes any and all reference to lesbianism as she can.
I've been noticing that, but trans instead. There's way too many, like, forcing somebody to be trans for the joke kind of things.
Also that. But no, to me, it just really opened up with this sapphic goal when she's canonically bi and then moon lesbian. And then, like, that's what stood out to me. Because, like, okay, you just said lesbian in French. What the fuck? Well, she's bi. Sure. I'm not getting on this topic. I don't know enough about it.
what he figured out like 2 dungeons ago, and we come up to the surface to see that climate change is upon us. It's at this point that Archie and Maxie fully come to grips with what they've done. They've doomed everyone, and they didn't realize it until it's too late. I think that's what I like about Archie and Maxie. It's not that they're misguided, it's not that they want to do good, it's that they're fucking idiots. These two go about trying to create an apocalypse, not realizing just how suicidal it is until dawn on the final day, and they realize, oh, hang on. They spend the entire game like, I'm gonna cause a climate crisis and kill...
Not entirely wrong, but at the same time, though, yeah.
That does make me chuckle. That is a very fun plot.
It is. They are dumbasses. I wish I could say they aren't, but they are. Hell, they did.
Oh no,
they
the guy
mixed
that
up the
kills me,
orbs.
this guy is killing me.
They mixed up the orbs. Like, come on. You put the blue and the red sphere.
You put the lime in the coconut, man.
A lot of
You shook
people.
it all up.
And then... Oh, hang on. They spend the entire game like, I'm gonna cause a climate crisis and kill a lot of people. And then when they cause a climate crisis and it starts killing people, they're like, smooth move, dicks for eyes, you sure showed all us normies. I love how Maxie tells me, don't say anything. I like to imagine that May was giving him the most smug bitch grin possible. So to clean up this mess, we have one option, and that's to go to Sky Pillar. Because what do you do when the land and sea are fighting? Call Sky Daddy, of course. So I climb up to the top of the pillar, see this massive dragon-looking motherfucker. He takes one look at me and goes, ugh. This again, and flies off.
Oh, that's spoilers!
It's him!
I fly back to Sootopolis City to watch as Rayquaza descends from the clouds like a heavenly angel, lowers himself down upon his 2 brethren who are fighting, and cries,
When I come out, I want all these freeloading parasites out of here!
and then they slink back to their caves like frightened little children, and Rayquaza goes back to his perch. This whole sequence is just me telling on them to their dad. It's awesome. Even Archie and Maxie comment on the fact that he just zipped down and Uncle filled them back to sleep like, wow, we really went through all that trouble and it was fixed that quickly. Compared to Ruby and...
Okay, sorry. I just want to go and say, I love that fucking shot, and this is more so just Pokemon thing because I want to nerd out a bit because we need a bit more positivity here. I love that both Groudon and Kyogre both have weather conditions, and then Rayquaza's is the clear said weather conditions. It really just puts Rayquaza on the top of the pecking order in terms of these. Cause like Kyogre and Groudon are both bickering. Because theirs are trying to override each other. But Rayquaza comes down and then just clears it completely. Like, no, you guys are beneath my power of strength. And then you go and then the moment gets ruined when you remember, oh right, Psyduck learns Cloud 9. Psyduck can have the Cloud 9 ability and also clear the elements away.
Yeah, I believe the idea isn't so much that he clears the weather and that's what makes him powerful. It's that it's implied he's way more offensively powerful than either of them.
I know, but what I'm trying to say is that they demonstrate that through the abilities.
True.
Like that's the point I was trying to get at, is that they demonstrate it through said abilities. And it's just a neat thing I love. Mm-hmm. Sorry, I just wanted some positivity in this retrospective.
That's fair.
Sapphire, the calamity that Aqua and Magma unleash is far less intense in Pokemon Emerald. The weather changes rapidly, and you can fix it by rushing to Rayquaza. Even the music it plays is a lot less serious, it's just a slowed-down version of heavy rainfall. In Sapphire, all of Hoenn is plagued by intense rain, with the sound of rainfall just pummeling into your ears with lightning flashing and while panicked, hasty music plays.
Copyrighted.
He was hoping. Who knows, maybe if we talk over it enough, they won't actually pick up on it.
It really captures a feeling of anxiety and fleeing from a storm, like everyone's hastily getting in their cars, driving off, probably getting on ships, trying to decide what they should take before deciding to only take the essentials. Just listening to this music, you can imagine a little girl dropping her teddy bear, but they don't go back for it. In Ruby...
Honestly, we'll say this, if your plan to escape is through a ship, in the middle of a fucking storm, you do not want to live. Like that. Maybe we'll survive. Actually, maybe it's not that bad of an idea. But I'm just imagining just rain doing nothing but just pouring onto the deck, a massive wave rising up to knock it over.
Yeah.
The entire land is covered in bright, oppressive, pulsing sunlight that even just looking at makes you feel like you're under a hot desert sun. And the music is this intense, harsh tone that's borderline creepy.
Talking over so that we do not get copyrighted. Or something, I don't know.
This is reminding me of Lavender Town.
Actually, yeah, I can hear that.
Yeah, I just because it's the.
This just feels like you're living in a drought. This is the one thing Ruby and Sapphire have above Emerald, in that they make the weather calamity feel like a calamity. Even the response from Team Aqua and Magma respectively carries more horror behind it as they realize the full extent of what they've done. Now, the remakes are the worst of these because while the story hasn't changed much, it's been made much more verbose and lathers the player in grandiose importance the entire time. Even the music is worse. The heavy rainfall music sounds more like the underwater stage of a Sonic game.
Today.
Again, hope. Yeah. And what do you know? Different sound fonts can elicit different feelings in the same type of song.
While
Whoa,
drought
what
sounds
a
like I'm trying to
revelation.
pilot a spaceship away from a star that's about to go supernova.
Lavender Town, gotta love ya. Oh my god, are we in space?
Ooh. Maybe. I mean, the sun's in space.
I'm not a fan. I think the
Okay, no, sorry, but that looked cool as fuck. I do not remember that.
I wasn't looking at it, I was looking at other stuff, but the sound was amazing.
Like, take a look.
That is pretty cool, yeah. Anyways, what was I thinking? Oh, right. Once again, how she's daring to complain about wokeness and oh, how it's so woke and in your face, so boo-hoo.
I'm not a fan. I think that
Is she? I completely missed that if I did.
She's it was in between the two music moments. Basically, she's mad that the remakes are trying to be more environmentally aware and trying to give the player that kind of lesson, which they probably do already know, but it's worth saying. But to her, it's a huge nuisance because, again, she's not a good person.
To be fair, that was the message of the original games. Like, say what you want about Gen 3, the message was always about environmentalism.
Yeah, they just added more dialogue to make that clearer and more important. And again, the only people ticked off by that are people who are already so utterly bad that they are being a detriment to the environment, among other things.
Yeah.
I'm not a fan. I think the heavy rainfall and drought themes of the original Ruby and Sapphire are some of the best music the series has ever had, both for how well composed they are, but also how they each capture a very different kind of terror that their respective weather is supposed to bring. When people talk about good music in Pokemon, they don't really think about where it's used. The music in a video game is all about the atmosphere it sets. Sure, maybe some songs in Pokemon are creepier or more intense, like the theme to Hoenn's room and Zinnia's battle theme comes to mind, but the difference is that Ruby and Sapphire are setting the mood for something that's actually good and creepy and unsettling. Hoenn's room is a creepy theme, but Hoenn is the single most obnoxiously verbose waste of effort, value, money, space, and time the series has ever had.
We will get to it, Strawb!
Yeah, like, please save this for your part of the retrospective that covers Unova. I'm getting a little tired of talking about Unova in Generation 3, because I want to talk about it, but this is not the place or time.
I know. Like, here's the thing. I feel like I am currently holding on to 5 different leashes, trying to keep Shaw back from going on a Unova rant.
Unova, best game.
Because, though, I would have saw that, I was like, oh gosh, Shaw is going to go crazy when it gets to N.
To be fair, I honestly don't focus on N as much, but that's my weakness. I'm not saying it's a bad part of the game. I'm saying, to me, that part of the story, this didn't quite make me go, wow.
I do wonder what would happen if you try to go back to it with, like, a new, like a fresh pair of eyes. Like, play it for the story's sake. Because I know you've done a lot of challenges.
Yeah, and I also haven't completed a lot of challenges, but that's just how I do things. We could get to this later. Point is, it's going to be hard to take it through fresh eyes since I have played this game so much.
Yeah, I know, I'm just saying. Because it always helps to just read the story and try to remind yourself of it. Because again, there's some shit that I forgot about Gen 1 that I had to be reminded. And I played that game to hell and back.
Zinnia's battle theme is intense, but the actual fight with Zinnia is not. I did come here expecting to really kick Team Aqua and Magma in the teeth.
Okay, hold on. The battle with Zinnia is supposed to be thematically intense. Whether or not it's easy for you to beat it is not what decides how the music sounds.
Also, I have a feeling that it wasn't actually easy for you. With how often you've been losing in Gen 3.
Yeah, but then again, well, okay, first off, she's not covering the remake. Secondly, it's the game with Gardevoir and Pokemon and me in the same sentence. What do you think's happening?
Okay, fair enough.
Which, sorry, to explain the actual nuance of it, using Pokemon and me to get a Pokemon to max affection gives you a ton of benefits that you otherwise couldn't access, and they are pretty powerful.
We're talking about crit, more chances to crit, chances to survive on 1 HP, which can trigger while you're at 1 HP.
Shaking off status effects, because...
It's very powerful, which, honestly, whenever I play a game, I try to avoid it. Because...
I think it's still pretty neat. Yeah.
Because while it's neat and it's helpful, I want the traditional challenge.
Yeah. Honestly, I forget why I play so if I ever do challenges, because they haven't done as many focused challenges in... Actually, from what I remember, I honestly just kind of mess with it anyways. Yes, it makes Pokemon more powerful, but honestly, I don't care. It also lets me pet those Pokemon, care for those Pokemon, so on. It's really too cute to pass up.
It is. It is.
but I really think they've both aged surprisingly well in the original versions. Their dialogue is succinct and their characters are a lot more charming than later villains. They really capture the vibe of an eco-terrorist and that they're fucking idiots who will only hasten ecological collapse. I know people like the later villains for spouting ham-fisted philosophy and pretending to be deep and complex, but there's only so much complex you could get when your end goal is the same as the bad guy from Kingdom Hearts. Aqua and Magma are good. You two get to live. Anyway, now that I'm free of the plot, I'm allowed to get the...
Sorry, maybe it's not that they're lacking complexity, but you're lacking a willingness to accept their story.
Yeah.
Like, you know, I'm just going to plainly come out and say it. I'm the kind of person where if a bunch of people are jumping off the cliff, I would join them. Because there has to be some ultimate reason to why they're jumping off the cliff. They are not doing it baselessly or wrongly. When multiple people are saying, wow, this is really good, chances are it's really good, and any reason to say it's not good is not an issue with the thing itself, but rather with you and your particular tastes.
I prefer to stay back and look at it, and if it intrigues me enough, I'll give it a shot. If not, I just move on. Because just because you can follow the crowd does not mean you should always follow the crowd. Because, hell, maybe you'll go into it, and it is good, just not something you're looking for.
Fair enough, yeah.
Oh, accidentally...
bad guy from Kingdom Hearts. Aqua and Magma are good. You two get to live. Anyway, now that I'm free of the plot, I'm allowed to get the last gym badge to prove I'm worthy of challenging the Elite Four, because neither rain nor drought nor big kaiju fight is going to halt the bureaucracy for even a second. Sutopolis Gym is great because you can bypass every trainer fight and go right to the gym leader if you're capable of doing second-grade puzzles. The gym leader is Hoenn, who looks like if James Bond was a Tumblr sexy man and uses water Pokemon. His first Pokemon is a Love Disc. A fucking Love Disc. A Pokemon that can't actually fight and just exists to be cute? Calm thy trousers, Don Juan. The next is Celio, who is slightly more capable of taking sharp leaves to the face. Slightly. Then comes Kingdra, who crunches my Sceptile, and so now I need a new strategy. So I thought, hey, let's fight water with water. This did not work. Fine.
What are those levels?
Go back, I missed it.
39 for Sceptile.
A new strategy.
Fair.
So I thought, hey,
Ooh.
37 Vibrava, 28 Ninetales, 35 Lairon. Why is that not already evolved? She should have Flygon by now. She should have Airgon by now. And I'm double checking to make sure my math is level 45. So yeah, it should be on the verge of evolving. It's not.
Anyways, honestly, this picture just reminds me of the Generation 1 team, which was the Butterfree, which she focuses on, is at level at best, and everybody else is several levels behind.
Yeah, and that fucking Lairon should already be an Aggron. No wonder she keeps losing!
I said before, but sometimes I am almost jealous of her brain because it just doesn't think. It doesn't worry. I mean, obviously it gets mad at losing, but sometimes I just wish I had a simple brain that doesn't think.
I would wish that, but unfortunately I value my brain too much.
Yeah, I do too. At the end of the day, I do value being able to think, but at the same time, man, it must be like radically different to have a brain that is truly non-functional.
Oh my god, Aggron is very tanky, unless you get hit by a special attack.
Well, yeah, that's the point.
I just looked up his stats. I did not realize it was this one-sided.
let's fight
Remember,
water with
Mega
water.
Aggron's whole point is filter, which helps mitigate its weaknesses, so it can tank better.
Yeah, just straight up loses rock type.
Yeah, no, its whole point is to try to tank as hard as possible, which is a fair thing to aim for, I guess. I personally dislike it, but yeah.
Oh, damn. Honestly, I kind of wish I could use Mega Aggron now. This actually seems kind of fun.
Alright, if you wanna.
Who crunches my Sceptile, and so now I need a new strategy. So I thought, hey, let's fight water with water. This did not work. Fine, I guess we'll have to rely on G
Which is
again.
baffling, because water resists water, yes, so you should be fine on that regard, and you should have dark-type moves, which are neutral, allowing you to get an edge in. So, why did you lose? Well, wait, sorry, I forgot you're under level, that's why.
Yeah!
The curb stomping.
I was gonna say, if I recall, there's about a 10 level difference here. 12 level difference here.
Ooh.
You don't need to hear us say that if you're 10 levels underneath a gym, you should not be fighting it. And this is the reason why we say if you skip trainers, you're just gonna fucking die.
I don't know enough because I usually am leveled enough for a challenge, but I feel like at a 10 level disadvantage, even type advantage would not save you.
If it's hot, if the Pokemon are strong enough, maybe? Because I have seen Pokemon with a 10 level difference, like one-shotting the stronger Pokemon before. But even then, those are very specific circumstances. It's like, you need type advantage, you might even need, like, quad weaknesses. It's just, it does not happen often, and it's only done by experienced players. For obvious reasons.
Yeah.
This did not work. Fine, I guess we'll have to rely on G again. After curb stomping Kingdra, Juan brought out a Crawdaunt. Unfortunately, I thought G Thunderbolt. Love the smell of cooking lobster. Then comes out a Wish Cash, a ground type. Well played, Juan.
Okay,
But
hold
sadly,
on, hold the
Psychic.
phone. You have Thunder, which hits neutrally, which is enough for a Kingdra, because a Kingdra is more so a balanced build rather than a hyperly tanky build. So you didn't just go with that? Especially since that's your only leveled Pokemon? Oh my god.
Will always beat the sheer raw sexual energy of that mustache. So now I have the final badge. That was anticlimactic. So now I'm moving on to Victory Road, which unlike the last game, wasn't cut and replaced with an outdoor gauntlet. Damn it. But very early in the dungeon, I run into Wally, who is determined not to lose to me again. He's trained, he's gotten stronger, he's at the end of his character arc, and now just has
Sorry,
to
can I
beat
complain
his
about the
rival.
game?
Come.
Okay, because I'm about to complain about Wally.
You encounter him just after a bridge on a random corner of the cave?
Honestly, well, it's not a random cave, it's the cave. It's the Victory
I
Road.
know, but like, oh, sorry, to give you an idea, in Oraz, he gets his own arena, which is this amazingly, like, the leaves are falling, the wind is blowing. It's an amazing arena just before the actual, what's the league? Freaking, why can't I remember the name of the building? Anyways, it's before the building. So you get to just see him moments before you're ready to actually succeed, and he has this whole scene. It's beautiful. And here you just encounter him as you're progressing through Victory Road's cave. That's so random.
I
That's
actually
so
don't
sad.
mind that, because I honestly kind of enjoy it. Because the thing is, though, is like, there's a reason why typically rivals are put at those spots. Because they are, you know, meant to be there for scenery, supposed to hype it up. The thing is, Wally's not really your rival. Not until this point. Like, yeah, he fights you, like, once or twice. But he's not really there to train. Your rival is still Brandon/May.
Fair, but still, it's such a random nothing spot of the cave? Seriously? That's the best they could do?
If I recall, it was either at the beginning or near the end of it. I think it's the beginning.
Why not just have him be at the outside of the cave? I don't know. Something, anything more relevant than this stupid nothing spot of the cave.
And I feel like this is just where our ideologies will clash. Because to me, I do like it when sometimes the rival disappears out of nowhere. Because it makes it feel like they are joining with us. Because it's not just, oh, we hit the place for there to be a rival, therefore rival time. Like,
Yeah, I just see it as like they come at you out of nowhere. It's completely unexpected, and you're like, why are they here?
that's not necessarily a bad thing, is my point, though.
Yeah, I hear your point. I definitely do hear your point.
Like again, at the end of the day, this is just going to be differences in opinion.
Yep. Anyways, you were going to complain about Wally in other ways, you were saying?
You'll see! You'll see!
So now I'm moving on to Victory Road, which unlike the last game, wasn't cut and replaced with an outdoor gauntlet. Damn it. But very early in the dungeon, I run into Wally, who is determined not to lose to me again. He's trained, he's gotten stronger, he's at the end of his character arc, and now just has to beat his rival. Come on, Wally, you can do it. He opens with Altaria, who is just about as fast as the truck it hits like. I'm going into this quite underleveled, in fact, and I did this deliberately so
Altaria's
Wally
not
would
that
outlevel my
fast, you're
Pokemon
just
in this battle.
underleveled.
He takes down Sceptile and G comes out. Altaria falls to a Thunderbolt, and out comes Delcatty, who falls to a single Psychic. Come on, Wally, you can do it. His next Pokemon is a Magneton, who bodies my Larion. Like, holy shit, he's so powerful. He even confuses my Vibrava. Oh no! It's okay, I got off that cheeky little crunch. Out comes Roselia, who crunches my poor little bug with a Giga Drain. G comes out and slays Roselia with a Psychic.
Murderer!
Wally's last Pokemon is his Gardevoir, who's already at a disadvantage because Thunderbolt isn't resisted.
Monster!
And then another crit takes him out for good.
Butcher!
I'm sorry, Wally, but it had to be this way. Wally's fight is actually fun in this version. In the remake, it's certainly presented better, where Wally challenges you in a field of flowers, set with his own rock track as a battle theme, feeling like it was ripped right out of those 90s tournament cartoons. I love it. But unfortunately, they made it easier. His Pokemon team is exactly the same, despite the mechanical changes between Gen 3 and Gen 6, and for some reason, Wally's Gardevoir is replaced with a Gallade. Okay, like, but why though? You changed nothing else about his team. Why did you make this change? I mean, I know why. Wally's Gardevoir was always male, and the fact that Gardevoir can be male was a point of contention among some very sad people and has always been the subject of exactly 2 jokes played on repeat for almost 20 years. This was the only reason Gallade was even added in Gen 4, and Game Freak has been taking this way too personally ever since. Pokemon fandom has always had this really weird hang-up about gender. Masculine Pokemon being able to be female and feminine Pokemon being able to be male have always been a huge draw of hissy fits, but I've always felt it was too foolish of Game Freak to entertain that notion. Like, the solution to male Gardevoir isn't to make a masculine alternative evolution. The solution is for players to stop being such pathetic sacks of chauvinistic shit. Especially when the end result is that Wally's party is weaker than it was before. Doesn't the poor boy have enough problems? What about the rest of Victory Road, Lily? Oh, what about it?
The reason for the Gallade is because that is representation of Wally. You absolute dumb fuck. Wally was going from a fragile kid to an actual competent fighter who's not able to just protect himself, but all of those that he cares about. He is the shining fucking knight that Gallade represents. It's not random, it's Wally's very soul. Can you have an inch of media literacy? I played Oras, got to that part, was surprised because I knew Wally had a Gardevoir in the original, and I saw it just fits so much fucking better because this is his spirit given form, going from a weak, fragile thing to a true fighter.
Honey, I'm putting my hands in the air because it's absolute fucking cinema.
Also, not to mention all the other fucking misrepresentations of what Wally is like throughout the entire goddamn retrospective.
Yeah. Like, imagine being so
It's a
lost in
cave.
yourself
You've
that
seen
you
caves
don't... Keep it pause.
Sorry, I was trying to get the right click off the screen.
Okay. Anyways, words. Bleh, imagine being so lost in your own self-absorbed ideas that you don't even pay attention to carry Wally's story at all. Sorry, words are failing me today. I'm sorry. But where am I trying to go with this?
Oh, can I interrupt something?
Yes, go ahead.
She
My
said
head's
that
failing.
the team was weaker because of Gallade. Even though Gallade actually fits well in this team because it gives Wally a competent physical fighter.
Weaker? What? How is Wally's team weaker? Because of a psychic fighting type. That is a very reliable type. It neutralizes the dark type weakness. It counters it with fighting type. Freaking what else? Oh yeah, resist rock for what it's worth. Resist bug. Wait, hold up. Resist bug. I'm pretty sure at least. Let me pull up the type calculator. Come on.
Okay.
Psychic fighting.
I'm going to read
out. It neutralizes bug.
Yeah. Psychic fighting is a really good typing. And can I also just mention his team real quick?
Yeah.
Altaria, Delcatty, Rosalia, Megaton, and Gallade. Most of those are special... Magneton, sorry. Magneton, sorry. Most of those are special attackers. Wally did not need another special attacker.
You know.
Because Roselia's only attack move is Petal Blizzard. This is meant to sap your strength and stall a Toxic Stall. Magneton is straight up the special attacker. Altaria has Safeguard and Cotton Guard, which is supposed to try to make it be, somewhat defensive. Delcatty has Seeing, Disarming Voice, Charm, and Feint Attack. Most of them are... No, Gallade literally only made it stronger because it did not make Magneton redundant.
Yeah. And again, the type combination is just plain good to have. What about Gallade makes this team weaker? Oh, is it... Oh my god. Is it because they can't use Calm Mind Reflect? Is that it? A strategy that, again, we have tried to prove is not what makes a Pokemon overpowered, but frankly kind of plain.
It's legit because it's just straight up not God of War. That's literally what it is at the end of the day. It's just not God of War.
Yeah.
Therefore, it's this weak as shit. It doesn't matter. And honestly, I was dreading this because I know you're going to have your explosion in Unova. This is my explosion for Gen 3. Because Wally is my favorite Gen 3 character.
You wanna know how much worse it gets?
What?
She complains that the Mega Gallade is a weaker encounter than an unmega evolved Gardevoir without Fairy type.
To be fair, the assumption is if it was Gardevoir, it would also be Mega. But that would also run to the problem of that's already been a trainer's ace. The champion of the last game! And also, I still say it's criminal that they did not do Mega Gallade and Mega Gardevoir in the same fucking gen. They need to stop making gender differences appear in different gens. I honestly am sick of it. I did not like it when they did it with Gardevoir. I did not like it when they did it with Frostlass. I don't like it with all the others.
Anyways, I'm going to pull up Wally's team one hot second, because I just need to review everything in full, because to say his team is weak is honestly a laugh.
Yeah, no, I don't blame you.
Let me see if I can find it. Say third.
I can link it to you.
Those are all that we make.
Because you only fight Wally twice.
Oh yeah, wow. Yeah, I found it. So let's go through it. Opening with Altaria is pretty solid. That is a dragon flying type, and that means it is neutral to Thunderbolt. Neutral to electric types, neutral to... Actually, I think just electric types is what flying has to worry about.
Yeah. It's also quad weak to ice.
Which she's not using.
Yeah, I know. I'm just saying.
Yeah, so yeah, it is quad weak to ice, but an already very bulky bird...
She also technically lied. These teams actually have completely different movesets and are higher leveled.
Wait, what?
Because, Altaria...
Oh, in the remakes.
In the remake. Because, Altaria doesn't have Cotton Guard. They swapped out the Dragon Dance for Cotton Guard. Which makes sense, because Cotton Guard didn't exist back then. But no, she said that the teams would change, except for the Gallade. No, the whole team's movesets are different. Delcatty is mostly the same. They're mostly the same, but it's Rosalia actually has a different strat in mind.
Delcatty in the remake is definitely confusing. Saying Disarming Voice, Charm, Feint Attack, so no stab. Disarming Voice is 40 power, Feint Attack is 60. Technically, both of these moves automatically hit. They bypass accuracy checks, but that's kind of it. Sing obviously has accuracy issues, and Charm is just there to slow you down. That's an interesting choice, but honestly, Delcatty's already the weakest part of the team anyways. Yeah. The rest of it is doing pretty good. As I was trying to say, Altaria is a balanced Pokemon with a slight focus in defensive power, but being a Dragon Flying type, it's kind of built for that already. Able to take a battle slower and whittle you away. Delcatty, still the weakest part. Sorry, Delcatty's just not that strong. Rosalia should have... Rosalia couldn't have evolved Generation 3, so I guess keeping it the same is just a matter of consistency.
Yeah. Same with Magneton.
Yep. Magical Leaf, Leech Seed, Giga Drain, Toxic, not bad, honestly. That is a pretty solid regular Roselia learn set. It's good for stalling things out. The special defense Roselia usually carries is pretty much enough to make that functional, even if it's lacking the same burst power that, say, Rose Raid can get into. Let me pull up the stats again. Oh, 100 base special attack is very stellar for a Pokemon who technically gets to evolve later on. It's, again, pretty solid for in-game, so this is a fine enough moveset.
That's kind of becoming the norm nowadays. Well, Pokemon that does have decent stats still get an evolution.
Yep. Anyways, going back to the rest of it, Magneton is pretty solid. Yes, it's quad weak to ground, but it also has Steel type, which is fairly defensive. They are fairly tough built, while having decent special attack. It doesn't stand out as much in competitive, but that's because it's way easier to build against certain strategies in competitive. So honestly, his team is pretty solid, and the slight rebalancing in the remake is well done.
Yeah, no,
So,
with what they have, his OS team is just better. And again, also higher level. To put in perspective, in Emerald, the God of War is 45. Gallade is 48. That's a 3-level difference.
and Mega Evolved.
And Mega Evolves. And this, 2 to 3 level increase. Oh no, some of them are even higher. Okay, so all of his other Pokemon are level 46 in ORS.
Mm-hmm.
The Altaria gets 2 more additional levels from Emerald. Delcatty gets 3. Roselia gets 2, and Magneton gets 5. So, even if you want to argue, not just God of War, the moves are a lot better, and that they just have better stats, because they're higher level. No, you can't say Oras is not the better team. This is just pure biasm.
I think the only thing that ruins this is, I did see in the footage that whatever Pokemon was in that footage was in the 40s themselves, facing the Altaria, of course. So was even the match. I don't know if that's somebody else's B-roll she stole or if that's her own playthrough, but technically Gen 6 did have the power creep of the universal XP share. Actually, that was mainly it. Just being able to easily level up all of your Pokemon off of one Pokemon's work means no one really falls behind, making beating people a lot easier. So it's easier to just grind away at things. You have Pokemon on me to make them stronger in terms of those cool effects. You have super training to make it better EV-wise. So it is easier to make a more powerful team. And maybe that's what makes it easier, but that's about it. And that's not anything to do with his team, but your ability to go further because of the tools available to you.
Also, if you want to complain about the Pokemon not being evolved, Wally in the third battle, which is in the post-game, all of his Pokemon are evolved. Same attacks, just evolved. And Magnezone gets sturdy. Oh, Magneton also gets sturdy.
Well, yeah.
But yeah, no, but that's the thing. And then his team does change for the fourth battle onwards, with whichever that condition is. Oh, damn, his competitive team is actually kind of scary. Roserade with Shadow Ball, Leech Seed, Petal Blizzard, Poison Jab with Bright Powder, Life Orb, Gale Wings, Talonflame with Brave Bird, Tailwind, Flare Bits, and Steel Wing. And this was before the nerf, by the way.
Damn, apparently the Battle Maison might be throwing hands.
Yeah,
This is good shit.
This is good shit. A fucking Asmoville with huge power, Assault Vest, Aqua Jet, Aqua Tail, Play Rough, and Iron Tail. Air Balloon Magnezone, so you can't just immediately hit it with an Earth-type attack, or Ground-type attack. With Thunder Wave Discharge, Reflect, and Flash Cannon. Rocky Helmet Garchomp with Rough Skin. You do not want to hit this thing with a physical-type move. With Dragon Claw, Crunch, Earthquake, Stone Edge, and then Mega Gallade, because it'll always Mega Evolve it. With
maybe Game Freak does know what they're doing.
Close Combat, Leaf Blade, and Swords Dance. When it comes to the post game, they don't fuck around. Because that's when they take the kids' gloves off, and it's like, okay, if you're playing this, you're playing for competitive.
Yep.
Because, yeah, no, genuinely. I kind of want to see Lily try to fight this team.
She would lose, and then complain that they made him. She would complain, "Oh, they made it all competitive now. Why is everyone always so obsessed with competitive?" Rah.
Genuinely, I'm genuinely, this is honestly scary. I'm looking at this as like, what would my team even be to counter this?
I mean, I would just build a team without thinking about counters, but this would be a fun challenge to face off against. Fuck.
I know, but the thing is, I'm not competitive-minded, so when it comes to this, I was like, okay, I can't just do a general team. I need to actually figure out how to win.
Do I play through ORAS again? Oh my... the challenge of making a canon team in ORAS, though, that'd be interesting. Sorry, I know I'm going through the lens of challenge again, but it's how I roll.
I understand. I can't do much about it. All I can do is just assume, just try to push away from it. And anyways, we should probably continue. We wait for
there's a video,
15 minutes.
which has currently been a black screen for like the last 10 minutes.
I apologize, everyone.
What else could you possibly say about this game? Oh my god, at least we're in the final stretch.
Oh no, we still have like 4 minutes.
Seen caves before. Getting right into the Elite Four, the first is Sydney, the Dark-type master. He opens with Mighty Anna, and who Crawdaunt makes handy work of. Then comes out Cacturn, who Ninetales makes quick work of. Oh yeah, I have a Ninetales, by the way. Absol is also made quick work of. Good job, Ninetales. Sceptile crushes Crawdaunt, and Flygon makes quick work of Shiftry, and we're moving on. At this point, the Elite Four is feeling...
Did she train just for the Elite Four? What?
Apparently.
Because that was not her team when she was fighting the Psychic Gym.
Yeah. So, to be fair, it's also Victory Road, which is a place with a lot of high-level wild Pokemon, so it's a lot easier to train there.
I guess. It's just... Why didn't she just do it throughout? Like a normal person?
More like a formality than the main...
the way of her getting to the credits.
Story is. Next comes Phoebe, the Ghost Master. Dusclops kills himself, which is a pretty good metaphor for how I feel doing this, and Aggron takes out Baynet. I'm sorry, guys, I really don't have any jokes for this. After 3 generations, there's only so many ways you can make, and then I one-shot this Baynet. Sound interesting. I defeated...
To be fair, you are the joke, Lily.
Like, good, stop joking. Just get through it and make your opinions more clear without having to just lot on jokes for no reason.
Phoebe, move on to Glacia. I melted Glacia, move on to Drake, who actually has a full team of dragons, unlike Lance, so good job, Drake. You're a better Dragon Master than the titular Dragon Master. Doesn't stop me from melting them, though.
The Dragon Master only had one dragon type to work with.
Yeah, no, can we please stop with the Lance slander? Like,
at this point, I'm actually kind of enjoying.
Like, at the beginning, it was kind of funny, but it's like, at this point, it's like, guys, I understand, just shut the fuck up about it. He literally had nothing to work with.
At this point, the hate is so strong that I'm honestly wondering if it's kind of base that he has 3 whole Dragonites and massive aura.
Genuinely, back then that was terrifying, because you kill one, and then you have another that covered the weakness of the other. Like, that's the scary thing.
Plus 3 big dragons.
Like, that's the scary thing is when you beat one copy of a Pokemon, and then he sends out another one that just so happened to have the exact counter to whatever move you just pulled out. Like, that to me is a demonstration of a master. Making the most out of the Pokemon.
He is, and knocked me down to 2 Pokemon. Stubborn bitch. Whatever, we're moving on to the champion. In Ruby and Sapphire, it was Steven Stone, but in Emerald, he's been upgraded to post-game super boss. So instead, the champion is Wallace, who is perhaps the sluttiest man in Pokemon. And that's including the remakes where everyone got sluttier. Game Freak was horny making this game. Anyway, Wallace's specialty is water Pokemon, and I promise I won't make a joke about being
anime
wet.
in general. This is not new.
I'll be honest, I just fucking find Archie's face so hilarious.
Me when
this Pokemon fell because G's still rocking Sith Lightning and won't hesitate. Ludicolo hung on by virtue of having more full restores than common sense. Wishcash was a little smarter, raising his special defense, but then he misses his Hyper Beam. Fucking scrub. But then he got off an Earthquake. See, this is what I get for mocking people. But he's 4 times weak to grass, so neener. Next comes Milotic, who is notorious for being able to take a pounding and recover quickly. This boy is a certified power bottom. But it's okay, because I have crabs. Wait, whatever, I revived G and proceeded to electrocute Milotic's nipples off.
Well, wait, you used a revive! G was fainted!
Again, she's not in a challenge run. This doesn't exactly matter, so it's just a matter of why didn't you do it before?
Yeah, that's what I mean. Why didn't you use it? Why did you not do it with Quillia? Were you just out of potions? Out of full heals? Paralyzed heal? Why are you going into an electric-type gym leader with no paralyzed heals?
Then he sends out a
Don't
Gyarados.
know.
That just feels anticlimactic. Wallace can't stop gushing about how elegant our Pokemon were when they were fighting. I like this guy. And Brendan comes in surprised that I won. Poet, please, why do you hurt me this way? And then I go into a special empty room with an old DOS computer to be registered into the Hall of Fame.
Okay.
And that's Pokemon Emerald.
I know it's a joke, but of course he's going to be surprised you beat the champion. That's supposed to be a feat that nobody is really able to do, thus the champion holds their position.
Genuinely, it's pretty much being said, hey, yeah, this is the best chess player in the world. Like, if you actually know the intrigues, if you actually understand chess and how hard it is to play fucking chess, and actually understand chess, yeah, no. It would be a shock to anyone when it's like, yeah, I'm a grandmaster in chess, because that if anyone who knows anything will find that impressive.
Mm-hmm.
Pleasantly surprised by how well Gen 3 held up. The writing is as bad as Pokemon games always are, but the terrible writing is complemented by the fact that the main villains are cartoonishly stupid. And yeah, they should be. Pokemon trying to have a deep story always falters in two places. One, it's fucking Pokemon, their best written villains are two chaotic bisexuals and a talking cat. And two, Junichi Masuda, the writer of most of these games, can't actually fucking write to save his life. Dude's one of the worst writers I have ever seen, and I have seen Steven Universe in its entirety. So the main...
That is a topic for another time. Not for me, but
Yeah.
genuinely, if you want to find out about that, there's plenty of videos online.
Yeah. Anyways, to say my piece, Pokemon writing isn't stellar. It's never been super high quality. It's usually a bunch of general fluff that we've seen highs and lows. Like, for example, Generation 9 being alright, if a bit samey. But to say that this is the most egregious story writer ever is such a joke.
Genuinely, I don't like when anyone says that, because, like, you don't know that for a fact. You don't know all of their work. Because for all you know, they might have had, certain guidelines that writers typically have to deal with. Like, like the common example is Sonic can't cry. Like, that's something that is
Sonic can't cry?
Sonic cannot cry. That is literally written as a rule that Sonic cannot cry, and that's why the closest we got to Sonic, quote-unquote, crying was in the Scrapnik arc in the comic books, where Sonic is, quote-unquote, crying, so, like, the tears running down his face, but it's not him crying, it's Mecha Sonic that's crying. Because Mecha Sonic's feeling love for the first time. And shit like that can ruin a story. I'm not saying it's perfect, I'm just saying we don't know the development of the story, we don't know the guidelines, we don't know if there's any rules. It's a Pokemon company, so we can assume there's something stupid going on. But that's it, it's all an assumption, we don't know. There could be guidelines that's prevented it, maybe it is all his original work and he's just a bad writer, we don't know that. Honestly, I like the story in Gen 4, I like the story in Gen 5. I honestly give him the benefit of a fucking doubt. Also, the story does not necessarily have to be complex or interesting to be good. Like, genuinely, Gen 1 has doesn't really have that interesting of a story, and I still prefer, and I still like that one. Because you can easily boil that down.
Fair enough, yeah.
Story being about two brainless jackasses both competing to see who can cause an ecological calamity the fastest, only to be completely and utterly blindsided by the fact that an ecological calamity is an ecological calamity, is fucking perfect. Some people deride Archie and Maxie as Saturday morning cartoon villains, but like... Guys, Pokemon is a Saturday morning cartoon. There's also the delightful fact that the game engine is buttery smooth. Character movement is super responsive, battle animations are so fast, dialogue boxes are fast. This is something we lost in later gens. The game's just slowed to a crawl. I miss the day of Gen 3 where we could move without having to sign forms in triplicate with the processor. This is all-
Do you want to talk about that now or later? Because I feel like we should do
I'll
it later.
talk about it more later, but I will say this, that you see why I called it important?
Yeah.
Yeah, so the thing she's complaining about only exists in Generation 4, but the reason it exists in Generation 4, as far as I can surmise, because I'm not one who did the research into exactly interviews and such, they jumped from the GBA, which was probably still running close enough to the Game Boy, to the DS, which is a new playing field, the dual screens, different coding, who knows. Game Freak is never given the time to train with the particular platform they are on. No training, no other lessons, nothing. They have to figure it out as they go along. So the first one on the new console is always bad because it's on that new console and they don't know what they're doing. Later on, they get better at it, but they also can fumble the ball in other ways, but that's a whole different story. So when Diamond, Pearl, Platinum hit the DS scene, they didn't know what they were doing. So while they did go above and beyond in every other way that they could, they suffered in trying to optimize the performance of the game, and it slowed to a crawl. Gen 3 doesn't have this because, again, they know how to design it well, they were familiar with the platform. Gen 5 doesn't have this because they got used to the DS by that point, especially with the remake, Heart Gold Soul Silver, giving them more time to toy with it, even if it ultimately carries the same engine. Gen 6, the only slowness issues they have are lag because they couldn't optimize the program size of this game because it was introducing 3D models, and wouldn't you know it, they've only worked with 2D in their whole entire life.
I also want to point out something. Between Pokemon Emerald being released and Pokemon Diamond, it was a 2-year gap. They only had 2 years to go and figure out how to run the DS.
Yay. Hooray.
It's like,
So I don't know how else to react to that.
Like, yeah, sorry. I just want to point out, because, like, yeah, no, game development is not easy, guys. It's really not. Which is why especially when you're working on a completely new platform, because honestly, I don't even know how much of the original code could have been carried over to the DS. I imagine quite a bit of the same code could move from the GBA, or from the GB to the GBA, because they're still very similar to each other. Unlike with, like, Diamond, where they have to make sure the top screen displays this, the bottom screen displays this. There's likely a mandate from Nintendo to add touchscreen function, so they have to figure out how touchscreen works and make sure that it's accurate. And that's why a lot of, like, early DS games, not necessarily Pokemon games, that just kind of have bloated touch controls. Because it's a new feature that they wanted to be used.
Yep.
So it's like, yeah, no. Yeah. Anyways, what was the original topic?
Right. Sorry. Yeah, I'm going to talk more about this whole issue later when we get into Gen 4, especially to jump from Gen 4 to Gen 5. But for now, just know she's entirely incorrect about this. There are only some issues, and it's not because they like making the game slow.
Also the last game where the story is spaced out. From this point onward, the games are going to badger you on every single route and city, either with your rivals, your adult supervision, the evil team, or any combination of the three. And this is truly the last game that lets you off the leash at all. It's a melancholy feeling to say the least, but I truly feel that Generation 3's design philosophy was the best. One where a story fits in a way that isn't so intrusive. It also had the best legendary hunt in the entire series. Tell me you didn't feel like Evie O'Connell deciphering runes. This was fucking great. All in all,
I hate that! Because the problem is you have to know... Okay, so she's talking about the Veggie line.
Okay, so you're saying that the Veggie line is an issue?
The thing is, do you know how to read Braille?
No.
You will not be able to get the legendaries.
Darn.
Because literally, so
yeah,
you'll find...
I do know about that, though.
Yeah, no, because, like... People point to this as being, like, and this is why they stopped doing puzzles in Pokemon to get legendaries, and I kind of agree, but the problem is, they decided to use Braille, a thing that most kids would probably not even heard about. I didn't hear about it that much growing up as a kid, and even then, just because like, I know there's NPCs that help you with it, but if you don't know how to read Braille, you will not be able to read, like, the caves in order to figure out, oh, what is it saying? What is that saying? And again, it's a very simple puzzle. Once you get to it.
Even when you do, it's such a cryptic way to solve it anyways. That's kind of what got me. It's very schmingle smorble in the right corner, and then suddenly a gate will open in 48 hours.
Not to mention, you also need, 2 specific Pokemons. One with Dive, one with Dig. And the first slot and your last slot, and it was a convoluted mess. Like, I don't even think I got them in all Masters because I tried, I failed a step, and I was like, you know what, I don't even want to bother figuring it out, and just moved on.
Yeah, and I mean it's cool. It's like crazy video game playhouse, playhouse. What the fuck? Playground, playground myths and whatever. Whoa, cool, cryptic. You know what I think about it? Just sounds like crap, and it makes you look lame.
Yeah.
I know I'm turning that on its head. I do not care.
I think Generation 3 holds up extremely well. I'd go as far as to say that it remains the best generation of Pokemon.
Okay, we could have let her finish
Wrong.
that, but...
Yeah, in terms of best generation, no, we're getting there.
Gen 3 is definitely a contender for me.
Oh, it is. It's a contender. It is solid in many, many ways, and I do like it. I wish I played more of it, but I grew up with Generation 4 onward. But
Yeah.
I still don't think it really holds the best of anything, just the goods of everything. I think, honestly, Gen 4 does better. It's hard to exactly say how or why, but it better.
Maybe as we go through this, you'll remember why Gen 4 was better. Because I can definitely think of a few things that it did better. Also, I realized we never talked about the Pokemon contest. Because I got introduced in Gen 3.
Again. Yeah, the Pokemon contest is interesting. I'll talk about the better stuff in Gen 4, but technically not in the one she wants to cover. But basically, it's all right. I do like that there's the charm of trying to make contests spectacular Pokemon, raising them in different ways than battling, giving them moves that are more fit for that. But having to go out of your way like that and either means you must bastardize your team that's meant for battle, or betray them for a whole new team of contest Pokemon, which, yeah, I like my pets. Why must I leave my pets?
Honestly, I just like it because it's a side thing, and it expands the lore of Pokemon. Because, like, yeah, no, Pokemon are not just pets, or not just for battle, but you could use them in contests and be stars with them, which is something that also gets expanded on in Pokestar Studios.
True.
It's like this is a lot, like, these side things, I do like it that they keep them side, but they do add to the world as a whole, and yeah, it is really good. Anyways, not part of what this is about, though. And yeah, that took us 3 fucking hours! These just get longer!
Yep. Me trying to not have a wrong opinion, but I'm Lily, and, you know, you get the gist of what I'm trying to say. It's harder for us to make this a quick endeavor when literally everywhere we turn is a bad opinion.
And also, autism taking advantage of us.
Yeah.
But that will do it for this time. I'm Wiisonic the Joe Gamer, here with...
Strawb, seeing you again.
And we hope to see all you guys again next time.
In Generation 4, the Lopunny one.
Oh god, the Lopunny.
Bonus, I actually am very chill about Lopunny, and I do not like people hornying the Lopunny as the main joke, at least. But I know that Lily is going to be anything but normal about this from here on out.
Lopunny. Roserade. This is gonna be one hell of a ride. Hello everyone, Wiisonic the Joe Gamer here with...
Hi, Strawb returns.
And we're back with Gen 4 of Lily's Retrospective. Before we start, there's no starter here.
Oh boy. Sorry, this is one of the good generations. If she says a single fucking word about the starters, I'm gonna flip.
Yeah, no, I would have stopped the recording and I mentioned, oh, by the way, did you notice something? And pointed at the fact there's no starter. And then the response was just, no.
If this were anybody else, I would try to have a little patience, because you can absolutely abandon your starter in the sense that, like, you can go for others if you must. But this is A, Lily, and B, one of the few games where there is no wrong choice for a starter, and honestly, one of the most elegant handlings of the starters in the entire series.
So
there are better...
very, like, 3 out of 3 for the Pokemon.
Yeah, there were